Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wanderers of the West Coast. I'm Andrea Dreger from Adventure Dice. My brain fart already, yay! From Adventure Dice and from Terminal City Tabletop Convention. We're glad that you're here. If you could just give me a thumbs up in the chat, can you hear me okay? I just want to make sure our audio is working. I know, Justin, you're watching. Can you hear us? Thumbs up. Okay, perfect. Just needed to make sure. So welcome to the stream. This is the first of hopefully many adventures. We are kicking off a new campaign set in the world of Andrea's Adventurers, which we're pretty excited about. And we have some awesome players joining us tonight. So, and DM, I'm not DMing. So yeah, Blair, do you want to switch the screen and we can just introduce the players? There we go. Now we can see everybody. Yay! Hi, everybody.
Good evening.
Hello. Yeah, Matthew, do you just want to introduce you player-wise?
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay, yeah, that sounds good. I'll take over from here. Welcome, everyone, to our stream, Waters of the West Coast. It's going to be our first session, and we're going to start by tossing it to the players. And I want to find out who you guys are and what your characters are. And then I'll introduce, well, maybe I'll introduce myself first. I'm Matthew the Five. I'm an organizer for the Vancouver D&D Collective, and I'm a DM and player of Dungeons and Dragons for about 30 years. So yeah, I'm here tonight to take the reins. I was going to say reins of the DM and run a game for these folks. And we're planning to do this every 2 weeks. So if you guys want to join in, tune in, and check out our recurring adventures, that would be pretty sweet. So yeah, we're gonna throw it to the players now, and we'll start first with Ashley. Ashley,
hi.
tell
Hello.
us about your character and yourself, and what your character's goals are here in the land of Thalia.
Hello, my name is Ashley, aka Ethereal Ashy, on the interwebs here. I'm an artist and cosplayer, and I am playing Peridot, the Earth Genasi Grave Domain cleric, who is a herbologist and just really loves flowers and wants to collect a whole bunch of flowers and make friends because she's been alone for a while.
Yeah, we've all been alone for a while. Fortunately, we've been able to come here to this land, and we're gonna do some adventuring. It's like lovely to meet Peridot. Next, we're gonna go to Ayla. Ayla, tell us about your character and yourself. And,
yeah, of course. So I'm Ayla. I work in the animation sphere here in Vancouver, and I'm playing a character named Azure. She is a monk Triton who has left her tribe after being discharged from the marine culture of her world, essentially. And
the world of the undersea domain of the Tritons, yes.
Yeah, because during a engagement, she went into a rage, and that's a big no-no. So she's kind of come up to the surface world because she just couldn't really cope with not having this like strict military lifestyle, and wants to figure out why this curse affects her family and her history. Yeah. And hopefully we'll be able to come up with a cure or find a way to surpass it.
Yeah, for sure. Or perhaps learn more of what it's all about. Next, we're going to go on to Andrea, and I just noticed that our female cast members all have A names.
Call us AAA Battery.
Yeah, AAA. We got the AAA cast here.
You got the A-team going.
In any case, Andrea, tell us about your character.
So like I said earlier, I'm Andrea from Adventure Dice and Terminal City Tabletop Convention. Tonight, I'm going to be playing Thalia. She is a human chef. She has been known around town for accompanying party adventurers as kind of like the camp cook. That's her specialty. That's what she does. Her background is has been a little closed off. She grew up very isolated in a tower just with her mom, and this has really been her first few months outside of the tower and experiencing the world and everything it has to offer, and she's really excited. But she has a little bit of a personal mystery she's trying to just figure out. That every year on her birthday, there seems to be these funny lights in the sky. So that was kind of her reason for leaving her tower and coming to the city.
Yeah, cool, awesome. We're looking forward to finding more about this. Next, we're going to go to Blair, as we're going alphabetically.
Blair, apparently people can't hear you.
Hey, I should. Oh, it echoes. Oh, I hate that. There we go. Nope, still echoes. Well, this is
Technical
gonna be
difficulties, everyone.
Yeah, this is gonna be a problem I'm gonna have to fix. But it's okay. I'll get it sorted.
First stream jitters.
Yeah, there we go. No, it still doesn't
Do
work.
we want to
Okay.
circle back, or are you working, Blair?
Can you hear Blair yet? Can you hear Blair?
They can hear me. It just has a bad echo right now
Oh,
because it's filtering back through the audio. So
if you want to mute, we can come back to you, and we'll go on to Torsten's character. Torsten, the wingless Valkyrie. Tell us about your character.
Hello. Yes.
And yourself.
My name is Torsten Dogel, known online as Wingless Valkyrie. I am playing a character named Blathers, who is an owl folk. Although now that race is going to be changed, but whatever. He's being called an owl folk. And he is a very simple creature who just wants to explore and find out the histories of the world around him. But also he is looking for a certain someone. He doesn't even know who that person is. He's not in any rush to find them. But that is essentially his long-term goal, is discover the world about him and thank the person for saving him, whoever that may be, wherever they may be. And that's it.
And he
That's
seems
his
to have
simple goals.
some sort of blood curse, correct? He is a
Yeah, but
hunter of the blood.
it gets a bad rep. It's really not that bad. People
No.
think it's a real bad edgy thing.
just a
It's
source
not
of
that
power.
bad. You just pluck a couple feathers. It's fine.
And how are we doing there, Blair? Have we fixed our?
I should be good because apparently there's no echo except on my end. So.
You're the only one that can hear this.
Apparently, yeah, I just hear it booming. Like my voice is not loud, but it's kind of hollow. But if no one else is bothered by it, then that's not a problem. I can deal with it. So,
I'm sorry.
I already sound weird on my own, voice, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am playing The Return of Auckland. I guess it's the intro of Auckland, really, because he's not the levels he was last time. Back from the Andrea Adventures stream, he was both 6th level and 12th? 12? Yeah.
Yeah.
So he first made his way out in those games, but he's coming back. We're going to see how he got to those levels and hopefully survived. If not, it was an alternate reality. But he is a Goliath sorcerer. He is from the Northern Mountains, and he's made his way down into town looking for bettering himself. He's seen some weird visions, and he's trying to prepare himself and trying to make sure that some of them don't come true and how he can avoid them and just get some answers for himself, and then hopefully eventually go back to his clan and be welcomed back instead of banished.
Yeah, that would be ideal, I guess.
Voluntarily banished. He left so they didn't get hurt. So
Yes, because of your chaotic magical powers.
yes.
Yeah.
The life of a sorcerer.
Indeed. And hopefully, I understand that the stream also had mentioned that they couldn't hear me as well as some of the others. So I'm just double checking, check 1, 2 to make sure they can. And in this case, we will pick up with our adventurers at Wren's Rest, the the gathering place of adventurers at rest. It is a tavern near Andrea's Adventurers Guild. It's a friendly place where folk can get a delicious bite to eat, and of course ale. Even now, you can hear sea chanties boisterously being sung through the tavern's door, and the owner is dishing up drinks to the guests themselves. They really like to get their hands dirty. You of course know them. They are Ren Gallardi, a retired monk of the Great Bird. So you're all sitting there at the bar, in fact, and as they're dishing up drinks, and you all have just returned from your most recent adventure. You had to chase off some goblins, and really it was your first adventure. It's how you guys got your job for Andrea's Adventurers, and they put you together as a team. Some of you like each other a little more than the others, some less, perhaps. And and we're gonna go to that right now. Well, what are you guys doing?
Peridot's got her little book of flowers just out and open, ignoring any alcohol put in front of her. She's like, oh no, I shouldn't. Thank you though. Do you have water? Can I have water, please? I shouldn't be drinking.
Miss Gallardi says, oh, well, why would you come here? It doesn't seem the place for an adventurer if they don't want to be drinking. They're sitting right at my bar. There's good people that want to drink.
My friends, I can stand up and go.
Oh, well, I suppose if you're with your friends, she kind of looks at you like, oh, yeah. She realizes you might be a little more sensitive. It just sort of goes, oh, okay, yeah, I'll leave it. Yeah, that's cool.
I'm their designated carriage driver.
Just doesn't want to upset you, you know. Moves on.
I just like flowers.
Flowers are great.
What time of day is it?
It's early in the afternoon. It's about, let's say 1 p.m.
Okay.
You guys, it's been a pretty uneventful day. You guys have been doing your daily stuff, downtime. You probably go to the Andrea's Adventurers Guild Hall to get a new quest if you wanted to. But as of right now, you guys are pretty. You just gotten a long rest from your last adventure. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tala comes from this little door. It swings open, and she comes out from behind the bar, from in the kitchen, and she realizes that her friends are there. So she goes over and just is like, "Oh, you're all here! Awesome! That's so great!" And she notices Peridot with her book open, and she's like, "Oh, do you have any new cooking spices for me? That last batch."
Yes, I do. I reach into my little pouch and I pull out a tiny little satchel and I hand it to her and I'm like, it's new herbs that I found in the forest. It's a little spicy, but it'll be okay. You can make it work.
I can make anything work. You know me.
Can I have some water? She won't give me water.
Ren, you won't give her water? Come on.
I didn't say I wouldn't give her water. I just
made
think you
me
could drink
feel
more
bad
ale.
for
Good
not
for you.
drinking.
Here, if it's going to be such a problem, I'll take her ale.
Yeah.
See, this one I like.
She can have all the ale that I don't.
The bartender says to you, hey, you want to arm wrestle?
Me?
Sure.
Who you asking today?
No, to our Triton friend.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, yeah. I don't know why I want to fight you again. You beat me last time.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Maybe you'll throw that drink in for free if I win.
All right, let's do this. I'm going to roll a dice and assume this character has a pretty high strength check.
Be a contested strength, right?
Yep. I got an 18.
Oh, 9. So you beat me. It's like,
So yeah, you go to wrestle arm wrestle Ren Gallardi, and she's just like boom. Pay
all
up.
right.
Who said not best of 3?
Oh, that's fair enough. I
Fair
like
point.
competition.
20. Dirty 20.
13.
Okay.
This time, clearly overconfident. She clutches loose and just kind of looks you more in the eye, and you're just like, "Argh!" And you win.
Oh.
Third one.
Okay. Oh,
I got a 14.
4.
You lose. Pay up.
All right, here you go.
You know what? Since you're such a good sport, have a drink on the house.
Great.
And
Thank
they
you.
go off to speak with other customers.
Would you look at that? You win regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes being a good sport is how you win. What are you, the rest of y'all up to?
Blathers is sitting there with a small bone. Who knows what it is? It could be a mouse. It could be a small rodent of some kind, but he's just absent-mindedly fiddling with it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all he's doing. He's just sitting there looking at it, like, and then he'll quickly like look around the room every so often. Nah, not as interesting, and he'll just keep fiddling with the bone.
Is this like his sort of his hobby, or like his
This is just what he's doing because taverns are not normal to him. So
Yeah, fair
he's
enough.
just like, I am more interested in what you are. I may have thrown you up a while ago, or I may have picked you up. I don't remember.
You're more of a library guy, eh?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I slide a small pouch over in front of Blathers. Just wait until he notices it.
How obvious are you making your slide?
That's pretty obvious.
Okay.
I'm not
I'll
stealthy.
I'll stop and then just kind of like look over at the bag, just kind of wide-eyed, and just look over at you.
I got you a present.
Peridot, you're just full of presents today.
I know. I found a lot of stuff in the woods.
I will lightly put the bone down, pick up the bag.
It's a tiny mouse skeleton.
Ooh, lovely.
I stand up and I just walk away with the bag, still looking inside it. I just walk outside.
Hi, Blathers. I don't know if he's gonna eat it or look at it.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one yet. But you made his day, so there's that.
I try.
Excellent. And as the rest of you sitting there, you're not really noticing that that your stalwart companion is sort of is deep in focus. Blair, it seems Auckland, your wild magic is just has been really out of control lately, and it's just it's like you're literally clenching your fists on the bar,
just trying to keep it in.
Yeah, trying to keep it in. Exactly. You're just like, and you honestly, you at that moment you're like, I can't sit here anymore. I need to get doing something.
Is that like at the bar? So I get up and like walk around the room and like, okay, is it getting better or worse? Like,
so you walk around a bit, and it does get better. It does like calms down, and the others see you doing this, and of course you all know that Auckland does indeed have this problem with magic, and you all kind of realize what he's doing in that moment, and you think you got to get going somewhere. The magic, it's like an itch. It's like, and it happens whenever it happens. It's like you gotta get doing something. Just like perhaps you need to go on an adventure, or it's just like that's the vibe you get.
Auckland doesn't go looking for chaos; it just follows them.
Exactly. So all four of you, the rest of you, see this happening, and Tala, you notice that the rest of the room is sort of getting uneasy, and because a couple times Auckland's magic has gone off in here.
We've got the scorch marks to prove it.
Ren walks up to you, Thalia, and she says, "You're gonna watch out for your friend, then, yes?"
Yeah, we'll take him outside.
No, I'm not saying that. No. It's just that,
I know. It's just I'm still trying to pay you back for the last time he was here. So
yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm sorry
I
he
can tell
cast
you,
fireball on himself.
The thing you do for me is wonderful, and I'm more than happy to have you as the part-time employee I do, but I'd rather you be earning your quota than paying off damages.
Yeah.
I get up and I'm like, okay, Auckland, it's time to go. If you're going to cast fireball on yourself again, maybe we should do it outside.
For the record, it's not fireball. It's only firebolt. It only affects one person, not everybody.
All right. Okay. I don't understand your magic. It's not divine in any way. It's just chaotic.
I don't understand it either.
Let's go outside.
Okay.
Thank you for... No, I guess you didn't give me my water. Thank you.
Oh, no, you didn't. Yeah, you didn't get a water. It's just in all the chaos, it just never happened.
As you guys make your way outside, you see Blathers is squat down in the dirt, and he's sprawled the bones out so that it looks like the mouse put back together, and he's just looking at it very intently, just like with his feathers, and just tapping at his fingers.
Oh my.
Hello, Blathers. Auckland's going chaotic.
Oh no!
Oh yes.
Not again.
Yeah, again.
Yeah, you might want to pack that up.
I grab all the bones, I just put them in the pouch, and I just go, and I just go 10 feet up in the air, just to be like, oh, please no.
That's an unfair advantage.
It's not my fault. I was born with feathers.
I can merge into stone.
Yeah,
That is far better than feathers.
Sorry. You all step outside into the warm air of the day. The sky is it will be clear except for the haze of smoke that rises constantly from the land in the south, where the line that should not be crossed is. The constant haze it comes and goes, but today it seems to be quite prevalent. And you walk out into it, and sort of find yourself, Auckland. You're just like doing this, like your hands are bugging and looking around, and you don't know where to go yet. Where would you like to go?
I will say, sorry, just to cut in.
Oh yeah.
After a brief exchange with Peridot, Blathers was just like, oh, that reminds me. And I'll silently fly away for a brief moment, and I'm just gonna look for like the closest flower I can find. I don't care what it is, just a flower.
Yeah.
And I'll just fly down. Ooh. Off I go.
Yeah.
The old lady's like, my garden.
Oh, sorry. And I just keep going. And then I'll come back to Peridot and just kind of like silently like land behind her, and then just kind of like put the flower in her hair.
Add it to the flowers in my hair.
Yeah, I'm gonna add it to the flowers in your hair.
Peridot's just gonna be like, thank you.
If you don't look at it, it's the prettiest flower around. And then I will just kind of bob my way over and normally walk.
I kind of look at it and I'm like, it's still pretty.
It's a regular ass flower.
It's still pretty.
You gave it to them. It's pretty.
But anyways, and then I will continue on to Andrea's Adventure Guild, because I assume that's where they're heading.
Well, no one's told me exactly where they'd like to go yet. I'd mentioned Andrea's Adventures Guild. There's a couple of other places in town. There's Rockets.
Have we turned in our quest? Like, I'm assuming we have to report back to the guild after finishing the quest for chasing off the goblins. Have we turned that quest in?
The Goblin Quest, let's say yes, or ostensibly has been turned in. You've collected your
Okay.
rewards, and anything that you're carrying on you at this point would be those rewards.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I think noticing that Auckland is getting a bit itchy. I might walk up and like kind of, dangerously hook my arm into his and be like, let's go find another adventure to go on.
Auckland kind of jumps at that, and all of a sudden, like, fire erupts and hits the ground. It's some random rock.
Yeah,
on it.
yeah.
Oh,
You know what?
geez.
Actually, it's funny you say that.
Ooh, I'll take to the side. Just like 2 feet
As
off
you
the
do
ground.
that- As you do that, I'm going to roll a D100 for you.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Because it's that bad, Auckland. The
Why is
Goliath
it so
that carries the Goliath that carries the wild man. Like dice
Go.
go flying across the room.
It ran away.
62. Let's go here to my player's handbook to see what 62 is on the wild magic charge. Because at that point, it's just too much. And you get to relax a bit, but it's just like. I should have had this open already, but I didn't.
no. Wild magic. I got the magic chart here. If it's
Oh,
if
I
it's
rolled
a
a
standard
60.
one.
No, I mean, I have it.
Oh, okay.
I got it already. I got to it just as I said I didn't have it. For the next minute, you must shout when you speak.
All right. All right. I will do that.
Ooh,
Oh boy.
who is yelling? Who? Ow.
Oh boy. Oh my.
I mean,
Okay.
we know that you're feeling a little antsy there, Auckland, but do you have to tell the whole town?
I literally do, yes.
I don't know what's going on with this town. This town is driving me crazy.
Oh,
I
I
would say
think
this
she
isn't
meant
even
that
the
as a
first time
rhetorical
you've seen him have to
question.
do this. Did we run each
Auckland,
other over
I'm
there?
sorry if you're angry.
I'm not angry. I'm just really confused as to what's going on.
I'm sorry if you're confused and frustrated. Do you want a flower?
Yes.
Okay, I pick out one of the flowers from my hair that isn't the one that Blathers gave me, and I give it to him.
Auckland says yes, but it comes out yes.
Yes.
Please stop yelling.
You just
You're
stop
giving me anxiety.
Oh man.
I will slowly uncurl my wings from my head. Shall we go to the hall?
So yeah, you guys do. You find your way
Let's
from
yeah.
you find your way from Ren's Rest over to the Andrea's Guild Hall, which is literally just across the road. How convenient.
Bob my way over there.
And you walk in, and sure enough, it's a pretty fine building. Adventurers of all sorts are sitting and discussing various adventures they've been on. There's trophies all over the wall and stuff like that from the great adventurers that have since retired to Thalia. And as you pass by, they some of them give you the kind eye, and some of them kind of harumph as you're at your passing. But as you move through, you find your way to the secretary waiting for your arrival. Who he greets you and says, "Oh, good afternoon. And what can I do for you today, adventurers? Are you looking for a job?"
Hello. Can we pretty please have a quest? Auckland's feeling itchy for adventure, I think is the correct lingo.
Yeah, the sort of handsome-ish, not handsome, I'd say handsome-ish half elf. That secretary there says to you, "Yes, I'll have to take your credentials. Do you have your cards?"
I pull out my card from inside my flower book, and there's a few petals on it. I'm like, oh, sorry about that.
He looks
Give
at
it
it
to
and
him.
like he like rubs the fresh earth on his hand. He's like not like bothered, but like sort of just bemused. And,
Sorry, it's an Earth
and you,
Genasi
and
thing.
it's like, oh yes, okay. And the rest of you? Of course, you know this guy. You've met him before. He's seemed to be like doing this because it's procedural, right?
I bob up to the counter and take the card in both my hands and just.
Though you've never caught his name.
What exactly is your name? I just know you as Mr. Behind the desk
I'm
man.
Jensen, milady. Yes, indeed.
Oh
Jensen.
right, Jensen.
I work for I'm the secretary here. I hand out quests for Andrea's adventures.
Jensen the secretary.
Where I store my card is this like kind of plain looking pouch that's on my belt, and as I open it, all you see is like copious amounts of salt, and it's just stored in there because it's like, okay, this is the only place that's gonna stay dry.
And you notice the secretary looking at you in like confused, like, why would you have that much salt?
What? Everything's too bland up here.
Yeah.
It's best not to ask questions, Jensen.
Meanwhile,
And the rest of you have your cards, yes?
Tala's like patting herself because she doesn't have much for armor or clothes on. I mean, she's just a chef, right? So she doesn't have too much belongings, and she goes in her bag, and you can hear things clanking around in there, like utensils, and there's a handle of a cast iron frying pan peeks out, and then she pulls out a small sack. It's a little dirty. It looks like there's maybe like grease or something on it, and she's rummaging through these cards, and she pulls out her card, and it's stained kind of like a recipe card would be, but she gives it to Jensen.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah. It's just the two of you then. Come, gentlemen, don't be shy.
I take out my pack, which is a very, very small pack. It doesn't have a whole lot of stuff in it, but every single thing in there has its place and its purpose. So I immediately go right to where the card is, and out comes the card perfectly in its place, both my hands in each corner of the thing, and just lay it on the table.
And it's like still perfectly pristine. Like
it's perfect.
Oh yes.
The only one with a pristine card.
I want to hear what
Auckland's
look like.
Auckland starts checking his pockets and he's pulling out random parchment and he's like, whatever, and he's tossing it around and he's looking around.
Are you still yelling?
No, that was only a minute. You said that was only a minute.
Where is my
You just
card?
walked in here. You just walked across the street. And
where's my card? I can't find my card. And he's going through all his pockets and he goes, sees one pile on the floor and reaches down and grabs a pile of parchment and starts going through. There it is. And
you know what? It does come out. It comes out like instantly. Like, you know, as soon as you're just about to give up and not give up and like not look for it anymore.
It's like, there it is. And it's
right there. And it's like
charred edges
on one side.
Yeah. It's got the charred edges and it's
there's
got
and there's like black mold on the other side somehow.
Meanwhile, everything else that was around it.
Wait, what an interesting specimen.
Yeah. But as you look at it, you can see that the mold is clearly magical in nature. It's not any living creature. It's just sort of
okay, good.
It's arcane It's arcane mold.
It's arcane mold.
Auckland, do you mind if I scrape some of this off your card so I can study it?
It might be holding the card together.
All right.
Blathers is standing perfectly still, but one of his enormous yellow eyes is just ever so slightly.
Yeah. Jensen, wearing his tricorn hat, sort of sitting there looking at you all, says, "So, you came for a quest, yes?"
Yes, pretty please.
Oh, okay.
If we could get out of town too, that would be good. I think
it's interesting you say that because we've recently received a missive from the gnomish kingdom of Badger Point. They were looking to hire a group of adventurers from Andrea's Adventures to investigate some stolen items from their treasury. As Andrea's as Priestess Andrea and her adventurers are known for their due diligence and honorable nature, I'm sure you'd be ideal for this job.
Who
Oh
stole
yes,
them?
that describes us to a T.
Who
Yes,
stole
I hope
them?
so.
I
Who-
think
who-
that's what
who
we're
stole
trying to.
them?
I think that's what we're trying to figure out, Blathers.
Well, maybe we know who stole them. They
Well,
just
I can't
go
say.
and get them
this
back.
This is the official document. It says here the Badger Kingdom, and the city of Badger's Point, to the north, requests aid from Andrea's adventurers with an investigation that has stumped their clerics. As you well know, that Badger Point is ruled by the Badger King and his clergy.
Does
How
the
sorry.
Badger King have enemies?
Oh, I'm just a secretary. I couldn't tell you that. You'd have to go there and perhaps investigate.
Ooh,
Hey, sounds great. What do we what's the reward on completion?
what is the time frame?
It says here, and he shows you the contract. It says, and it's like all official, and you can see it's written in Gnomish, and it's also written in Common, and it's an official contract being offered to an adventuring party, and it requests the attendance to Badger Point to investigate, as I said, and the stip is 500 gold pieces.
That's a lot of money.
It is quite a lot of money, actually.
Each or total?
It doesn't specify details, nor does it specify what was taken.
500 gold pieces. What was taken meant a lot.
We should go see them.
Is there any supplies that we need before we head out?
How far away is it?
I could tell you, and he pulls up a map of Thalia, which looks very much like the map that you see before you, and perhaps our stream sees as well. I don't know, actually. I haven't checked. So
Yes, it is on the stream.
If you can see the map, this is the map of Thalia. It is Badger Point. It could be upwards of 2 or 3 days travel to the north, to the southwest. It is down the Staulo River. You could take a canoe or a boat if you wanted, but you'd have to purchase one.
I'm a little confused. Are they gnomes or are they badgers?
They are gnomes.
Maybe they're gnomish badgers.
Are you sure?
Or badgerish gnomes.
So you
Badger
don't really
King?
know much about them, and so the secretary, Jensen, doesn't seem to know anything about them. But if you'd like to, you could make a knowledge history check to see if you know anything about the Badger Kingdom or the gnomes of the Badger Kingdom.
Is
None
that
of you
for,
are gnomes,
is
right?
that for all of us, or?
It is for anyone could roll that. Yeah, anyone can roll anything, right?
I'm proficient in history.
Well, there you go.
Dice roll. First dice roll.
Total of 10.
10. Okay.
17.
17 for Tala. Okay.
It's intelligence based, correct? So
It is
Yeah.
intelligence based. It's history. If you're not trained, you still get your intelligence bonus.
19.
19. Okay. And Torsten, do you want to roll still? We've got some pretty high.
I did. It's an 8 plus 2 for a total of 10.
Okay.
Me
So
too.
you guys, Blathers and Peridot know that the Badger Kingdom is where the gnomes live.
They're gnomes.
Solid. We know as much as we've been told.
So Tala and Auckland, you guys know that the Badger Kingdom is a militaristic group of gnomes that lives on the banks of the mouth of the Staulo River. They are a multicultural group of gnomes that is highly militaristic and ruled by a theocracy that supports their king, who is chosen sort of a hereditary elected position, meaning you get elected to it when a king dies, and you're elected from they're elected for the king is elected from the noble houses of the kingdom, and they're seen as like the Badger King, which is essentially like this deity to them, kind of like a god king, but not in a weird way. You also know that this isn't like they're like evil people or anything, and they're gnomes. They're just a little different from gnomes that you guys are maybe traditionally used to.
You know, I know that they're a little bit militaristic and all that, but I still want to see if they're actually badgers.
They're militaristic?
Oh, I'll fit right in.
I thought they were just gnomes.
Who says gnomes can't be versed in military?
Fair enough. I haven't been around people long enough.
Me either.
The other
I'm
thing you
just
guys know about this
making
area
assumptions.
too. Yeah, sorry. The other thing you know about the Badger Kingdom is it's fairly isolated, meaning that no one really like gnomes usually come out of there. They trade with you guys. There's no like gnomes in the town that are from the Badger Kingdom. That's where the gnomes come from. That, you know, the halflings come from a place, gnomes come from a place nearby. Kind of, it's like, you know, you have a friend that lives in this place. You have a friend that lives in that place, kind of thing.
Oh, gnome.
Oh, gnome! Yes,
If we wish
you
to
can
get
even
going,
find a gnome that's local and get more information if you want, right?
if time is of the essence, I'm ready to go.
It says here that they would like they would like an adventuring party to report and investigate immediately. Yes, because you guys are still standing right there in front of Jensen. He's been listening to you guys.
Hello, Jensen.
I raise both my hand and my right wing, and I just say, I am ready. May I have my card back?
Oh yes, of course.
Take
I'll
it. I
take
put it
mine
right back
back.
exactly where it was.
I should mention he never took your card, Blair.
Oh, I was gonna say Oplin's already started walking away and
Yeah, he
forgot
was
his card.
He
man.
was too worried it was gonna blow him up. Yeah.
I'll just take that bag, shake some dirt off of it, and then just put it back into my dirt bag.
Yeah, mine goes right back into the salt and just make sure it's like covered.
All right. Okay. Yeah. And Jensen says to y'all, you know, you might want to look into purchasing a canoe from Rocket's Rations. He sells more than just rations, you know. It's just a clever alliterative name, I think.
Does Rocket rent canoes?
Oh, you'd have to talk to him.
Rocket's rental rations.
If we don't need to buy it, we only need to rent it.
Maybe we could even hire a guide. I've never really canoed before.
Me neither.
Nor have I. And I raise my feathers.
Okay, you can fly.
Yeah, I mean, you guys know that Andrea's Adventurers also has they actually, because it's a guild hall, right? So if you guys wanted to contract would basically be considered like a sidekick. You guys could easily do that.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Does anyone know how to drive a boat?
I do. It's
Oh,
not going to be that
okay.
difficult.
Never mind.
If it's anything like chopping down a tree, it shouldn't be a problem.
What?
I didn't think you'd ever have need of a boat, being that you swim.
Well, you know, there's always a necessity for something.
That's a fair
Jensen
point.
happening to
And I,
see it says,
as she says, I'm like, that's a fair point. And I reach out and I take my book, and I always have need of something.
Jensen mentions to you as he's still sitting there. Perhaps as a Triton, you've taken boats, and that's how you learn to sail them.
Jensen,
Well.
that's a little inconsiderate.
No, it's just a matter of fact.
Maybe
That
you
sounds very
shouldn't-
factual, Jensen.
You shouldn't make assumptions about people.
I mean, I
We
wasn't
didn't
making an
make-
assumption.
We didn't make any assumptions about you.
I did.
Okay. Blathers
He's
is
like-
different.
I'll
He's
tilt my head. I'll tilt my head over and look at her for a second and just like,
here. I'm just
have
gonna
you
step
taken
back.
boats?
Pardon me?
I'm just looking at Ayla's character. Sorry, I can't remember your character.
Oh, we're getting lost in the
Azure.
mix.
Azure,
I'll step back.
Azure, just kind of leaning over and looking at Azure's. Have you taken boats?
if it was a necessity for the mission, then I did everything I had to do to complete the mission.
Then
I'm
he's
going to
factual.
go to
He is
Rocket's.
factual.
I'm going to go to Rocket's Rations. I don't need to hear about crimes. I walk away.
Oh, it was a crime? Oh, have you committed crime?
I had assumed that perhaps you'd apprehended criminals. You seem like the type to apprehend criminals. That's more what I was inflecting.
If I was sent on a mission as a Marine, I would do what it took to complete the mission. Apprehending criminals or infiltrating if I must. However, my life has changed a little bit, and I still have these skills. But let's go get our rations so we can continue on.
You seem hasty to talk about your skills. I'm very interested to learn about them.
Right. So you guys head out into the street, having gained your contract and learned more of Badger Point. You head over to Rocket's Rations. It's a ramshackle building, sort of put together with all different styles of architecture, and so you can see that at one point it was built by one person, and then someone else came along and built something else onto it, and then there's like part of a ship attached to one end of the like a boat, and you arrive there and you're greeted out in the yard by a tall canid who lives among the people of Thalia. And he looks over. He's like, "Hey, how you doing, friends? Good to see ya."
May
Who
we
are you?
please have a
Are
boat?
you Rocket?
Yeah, I'm Rocket.
Can we have a boat?
Boat.
We'll rent one.
I rent
We don't
canoes.
necessarily need to steal it.
Is that boat for sale?
I got a rowboat for sale if you want to buy it.
Oh,
Part of
yeah.
the house, though.
Wait, it's part of the house.
No, we just
That
pulled it
boat-
off. It's no big deal.
I'll
Are
kind of
you going to be okay?
I'll bob over for a quick time. That boat looks broken. You want to purchase a broken boat?
No.
No, not you, Peridot.
Oh.
Indeed, you're right. The boat does look broken. Very broken.
She was staring at the boat and she was, "Is that one for sale?" I was
That
like,
one?
"What's broken?"
But we were looking for a boat. Is that not a
Yeah,
boat?
but you can buy that
Yeah.
one. It's not broken. There's nothing wrong with it.
Do we get the house attached to it?
No, you just pull it off. It's no big deal. And he snaps his fingers, and a couple of like of his people come out, and they just start pulling away. This is the style of the building that we do, and we use everything, right? Just put it all together. It's you waste not, want not, right? You want a boat? Yeah, come get the boat. Yeah. And 4 canids come out, and they're all these tall. They're about 5 feet tall, dog people, right? Yeah, the animal people, and they pull the boat off and throw it down, and then before you know it, you see them all clamber in there, and they're talking to themselves in their own language. You can't really, I mean, it's like yips and growls, unless someone has some sort of ability to speak that language. You don't understand them. And then they come and they throw the boat down, and Rocket's like, "Yeah, here, buy it. I'll sell it to you for
Boat?
I'm gonna bob over to Peridot.
yeah, it's a rowboat."
I have a feeling that wasn't the boat we meant to get.
No.
But a boat is a boat.
A boat is a boat.
I'm gonna go up, Rocket. Do you have a watertight canoe that we may rent
Hey, you said you
As-
wanted to buy this boat.
or buy? We're open to purchasing, but we need to head down to Badger Hill.
To be fair, Rocket,
or Badger Point. Sorry.
Badger's Point.
she did not ask for that boat. She
No.
did.
I'm pretty sure you did.
How big is the boat, and can we?
It's a rowboat,
all
and
fit in
so
it?
you're all looking at it. Now, most of you guys don't know anything about boats, but I'm just going to tell
No.
our Triton friend that boat is no good.
Yeah.
You take one look at it with your water vehicle proficiency, you can see that boat isn't going to be sailing anywhere.
Yeah.
You get the feeling that this guy's trying to put one over on your friends.
Yeah. I'm just be like, Rocket, look at me.
Yeah.
Does it look like I don't know things about water? Because I do.
Are you going
And
to
this
try to
thing is-
charisma him?
Ugh.
Are you charismaing him? He
Sure.
definitely seems to be unfriendly at this point because he seems to have thought you were referring. He doesn't, maybe not entirely, maybe not intelligent or maybe very intelligent. You know what I mean?
Mm,
I'm gonna lean back to the two other girls as Azur's making this deal. Something tells me she's salty about this deal, and I don't
Was
mean the
that-
salt in her pockets.
Was that a Triton joke?
Who?
Okay, never mind.
I mean,
It was a salt joke.
is this a canoe, you guys? Like, and Tella's
No.
like touching it with her foot, like you would kick a car's tires, and like looking at it. She's like,
Tula, I think if you do that, it's going to fall apart.
it comes with a window though, and she puts her arm through one of the holes.
I feel I'm not
I don't
versed in.
think
I'm not versed in
boats are
boats.
supposed to have windows down there.
I'm not versed in boats, but I'm pretty sure it already fell, and was already apart. But who do I know?
Hey, you asked me for the boat. I got the boat for you. Now, if you're not buying the boat, what are we doing here? Do you guys want some
We
raccoon
have a
jerky?
different boat.
Azur's buying a canoe.
mhm.
Can you have a canoe that fits 5 people?
And a Goliath.
Or 4. I can fly.
A
I have no need
limo
for sitting.
canoe.
I'm gonna leave.
Oh no, a
No
canoe wouldn't-
canoe.
I got canoes, but they wouldn't fit
Real.
five
That's a kayak, is what that is.
A limo canoe. I'm a land person. Very obviously.
Okay, let's see here. So, I'm looking at your. So, oh yeah, no, you. I mean, yeah, I guess a canoe would work for you. What you want too.
Okay, how much?
It's going to be 80 gold pieces for the labor and for the canoe.
For the labor.
Is that to purchase or to rent?
Purchase.
What
I'm not.
labor?
Do you think does it say Rockets rentals rations? No, it says Rockets
No, I
rations.
did come up with that concept in the Adventurers Hall, though. It might be a good offshoot.
No,
Oh,
I mean you
Alright.
can charisma him if you want
Oh.
to persuade him.
I'm going to try to persuade him with my +1 charisma.
Persuade the man to change
8.
his. Nope.
8. I'm gonna roll.
Persuade-
It's an opposed roll, so he rolled a 16,
Oh,
and his wisdom bonus is +3, so you got a 19.
I'm gonna kind of lean in there and go, I don't think she understands your business. I go, and apparently I'm sparking and stuff.
Yeah, I
'cause the
mean,
magic's
business
just
is all
itching
about
to come
making-
out, right? So I'm like, I think what's best for everybody is if you just get rid of us by renting us a decent canoe that will support me.
Make it intimidate check.
I wanted persuasion.
You want persuasion? Okay,
wanna
yeah,
persuade
persuasion
him.
it is.
Okay.
Yeah, if you rather persuade, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
9.
Oh no.
80 gold pieces.
I have +4. Come on.
oof. Big oof.
Do you not have any discounts for people of the guild?
He kind of looks at you. He's like, "You're with the guild, right?" Yeah.
We can show you our cards.
He seems to. No, I trust you. He looks at you. You're like, you're a little goody goody for me. You're clearly in the guild. Okay.
I lean
I'll
over
tell
to
you what,
Peridot.
50 gold
Is
pieces.
goody goody a compliment or an
It's
insult?
50 gold
I
pieces.
don't know.
I lean over at Tala. Is goody goody a compliment or an insult?
Sounds like a candy to me.
You can make an insight check
It
if you
does
want.
sound like a candy.
Torsten.
What's that, sorry?
Blathers can make an insight check if you wanted.
Sure. Blathers is going to insight. What does goody goody mean? Yeah. That's going to be 16, 15 plus 1.
He's referring to the fact that you would follow the rules and perhaps insinuating that you might be naive to the world.
Okay. So
Yeah.
after talking to the two girls and kind of like thinking about it, his eyes just go wide. She is not a goody goody. She has the knowledge to steal a boat from criminals.
Blathers.
The Rocket sort of looks over and he's like, okay. Thanks, bird.
I look over at Peridot like very innocent, like, did I do something wrong?
Oh, honey.
Yeah.
Let's go look over here, Blathers.
You told me you didn't know what it meant. You thought it was a candy.
It sounds like a candy.
Sounds like a candy.
This is why Tala and I get along.
I make the candies and she eats them, so you know.
Oh, absolutely.
Blathers is just gonna stand there like, I figured out that I'm right, but I still feel wrong. And that's it.
I think I'm gonna just continue talking to Rocket there. And does the universe of Thalia have flotation devices?
Like life jackets, you mean?
Yeah.
Like tubes.
Well, I'm thinking for our Goliath friend who's gonna be on the river.
Oh, like those little slip-on things.
No, there's no life jackets.
No life jackets?
No.
Okay.
Oh,
You
we
don't-
need some Goliath
you don't
water
need that.
wings.
I'm just picturing Auckland with water wings just floating.
Just floating with like little bits of lightning and fire magic just sparking off of him. It's just
Auckland
idly
with
floats down
water
the
wings
river.
and goggles.
Just
Problem with
floating
the
down the river
lightning-
and occasionally the little bubbles.
If you're floating in water, the lightning's just kind of seeping out. Lightning and water don't mix very well.
There's also just
the
dead
fish
fish
kind of
just
float
floating next to him.
behind.
Auckland's the best fisher.
With like little bits of lightning and fire magic sparking off.
No.
Water wings and
Oh,
Oh gosh, who's that?
There
I'm
was
so
an
here for
echo.
Someone's echoing. Who's got the stream running?
Oh, sorry. It's me. It's me. Sorry.
yeah, I think 50 gold pieces seems adequate. He's so I'll pay him the money.
All right, fine. He takes your he's like, you're gonna count them out for me, right?
Gold piece by gold
He
piece.
like takes them one by one.
Oh no.
And
This is
he's, like,
going to
looking at him
take
as he takes them.
forever.
Good deal.
Mm.
And he shakes the bag. You come back to Rockets Rations anytime. Oh, did you guys need anything else?
I'm fine.
Do you also deliver the canoe to the water?
Oh no, you gotta take it with you. I mean, the water's only just down there.
Oh,
Does the canoe not need some form of propulsion?
Do we need oars? Is
Yeah.
that
assume-
what they're
Oh
called?
yeah, paddles are extra.
I
Oh,
assumed,
no.
I assumed Azure sat in the back and paddled with her feet. She's a swimmer.
They're only a gold piece each.
oh, I can do that.
5 silvers each.
Oh,
Yeah, okay.
so
Okay.
1 gold piece.
Well, you need you only need maybe 3 paddles.
Yeah,
Tala
so-
gives him a gold and says, I need one for each hand, right?
I mean, you could use them as weapons, I suppose.
Oh, that's a good
I knew
idea.
this one tavern brawler that fought with just a paddle. It was wild.
Okay, I'll take 2. Oh, I'll take 3. I'll take 3.
Yeah, here. He counts your gold out again. Now there's nothing else. We got to get to fixing this roof. The Canaanites have already taken the rowboat. They ripped off the roof, and you see that they've been like weaving it back into the construction. There's a very like haphazard and it's almost they remind you of like Burning Man buildings. You know, it's like a Burning Man. It's like they've clearly taken scrap and anything that they've found or traded for, and they put it into use into their building.
Interesting.
How intriguing.
Are we good to set off? Or is there anything else we need from this town?
I believe we are all right.
I can find us any food or water we need.
And I can cook it.
I have herbs.
And salt.
I can eat it.
We are ready.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay. So you guys set out on your first day, traveling along the Phthalia River.
I will say I am flying just behind them.
Yes,
I have no need to sit.
Only 4 of you are in the canoe. Your fly speed is 60 feet?
No, I think it's 30 feet. Give me a
Okay,
second.
so in that case, you probably would want to stay with the canoe because you'd be tiring yourself out flying alongside.
How fast is the canoe?
The
And
canoe is going.
Are we going downriver or upriver?
We
What's
are
the
going
weather like?
downriver.
Is it high tide, low tide? What full moon quarter is it?
I mean, I can tell you if you want.
No, it's fine.
It's not good. So the tide rises high at night currently, and the full is a waxing gibbous, and the moon is a waxing gibbous.
Those are just words to me.
Yeah. Touche. The boat moves.
I understood
roughly,
what you meant, but
Yeah. The boat moves roughly the same speed as your flying speed. Actually, now that I'm seeing.
Okay. I believe it's 30 feet. Give me a second. I don't have it written down in D&D.
Yeah, no, it's I already looked it up.
it should be the same as your walking speed.
I doubled back on that already and got it. So yes, you guys set off, and your first nights down the river is uneventful.
Just around the riverbed.
You make a camp on the shoreline, and set up for dinner and stuff. And who's taking what watches, and how do you guys set up camp? I mean, you all have known each other for about a month now. You're not like the best of friends, but you've traveled together a few times, so you probably have a campsite plan. What is that campsite plan?
I will find an adequate spot for us to camp.
Yeah, because I think you're the only one with the survival check in this party, correct?
I am an outlander.
Yes.
I came from the mountains.
Cool.
And I just gotta find the right window, so I'm trying to stall inconspicuously until I can
Auckland and I are both outlanders. I believe, do we both have wanderer as well? I'm probably.
Yeah, that would be the same thing. Yeah. So you guys could very much find a camp. I'm not even going to get you to roll then if you're both outlanders. You can work together, and you guys find yourself a nice, sensible campsite on the edge of the river, and with a high embankment, which actually rises even above you, and you're able to set a little campsite underneath the embankment.
Are there trees around, or is this a big open field?
There's quite a few trees along the shoreline. They're river sycamore style trees.
Excellent. I will just as everyone's setting up camp, I am going to go. Excuse me. I'm going to go and find some of the best trees for watching, and then I'm also going to ruin them of the squirrels and take them to the campfire.
Cool. All right.
I would like to look for new flowers.
Okay, so you go fetching flowers around the camp. It is getting kind of dark, but you can do that.
Would you like me to roll investigation?
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Flat roll +0.
Just pick it up slow and
I
She's
am.
moved. She's
I'm
moved
not,
in. I don't believe her.
I'm not lying. I rolled nat 20
You
for a
find
flat
rare-
20.
The first
You
natural
find
20
a
of the
rare-
campaign. Let's go! Claire, that is the most beautiful D20 dice I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Tell me you sell that one on Adventure Dice.
This exact color combo, no. This
Damn it.
was actually a sample that I stole because I really love the color combination.
Fair enough.
But I'm hoping that they get more of this one in stock. We do have to be launched soon. Same style with the middle with the stripe and the sparkly in it. They're just not this
Gotcha.
color.
Okay.
But yeah,
Shameless
just
plug
seeing
for
how-
Adventure Dice.
I was trying to find out if you could actually see my rolls, but I don't think you can actually see them because they don't contrast enough in that set very well. Unlike this
Oh, well.
one. Too much glare. Okay, anyway, sorry. Distracting.
It's all good. All
So
right.
natural 20 survival.
So yes, we know what Ashley Peridot is doing. We know what Blathers is doing for our campsite. What are the others doing? We know what Atal is doing, don't we?
cooking dinner.
Blathers is also
Tala's-
bringing those. Blathers initially comes back with like 2 or 3 dead squirrels, and he'll put one off to the side for himself, and then he'll give the 2 to Tala.
Tala will take them, and she's gonna start setting up the cooking fire, and getting her cast iron frying pan out and ready. And she says to Blathers, "Okay, squirrels, I think I have a new idea for tonight. I think I'm gonna try some of those that seasoning that Peridot brought me. We'll have some spicy squirrels."
Why would you ruin them?
I mean, I like my meat cooked. I can make yours blue if you really want it. Blue?
He looks at his dead squirrel like, why would you make it blue?
Raw.
Does it change the taste?
I mean, maybe. I know Auckland likes his meat kind of raw.
Walk over with my new flowers. I'm like, I found flowers.
I
I was
found
going
squirrels,
to say,
and
yes, you
I
roll a
hold it
natural
by its
20
tail.
finding flowers. You find a rare orchid that is even now rising out of the ground as you arrive. And you realize at that moment, what cantrips do you have?
My cantrips?
Yeah.
My cantrips are light, spare the dying, toll the dead, and a
Ooh.
word of radiance.
Yes, indeed. You realize as you see this flower rise that it is a rare orchid that blooms only once every 10 years. And as you see it rise out of the ground, it comes out and it's like this.
No!
No, you don't. No, you don't. It rises and it has this like pearlescent flower. And as it opens up, it looks like it's saying a prayer, like a person saying a prayer. And then it opens up into what looks like a pseudo dragon. And at that moment, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe this. And you cast Spare the Dying. And you're able to preserve that orchid in that moment perfectly and dig it out of the ground.
Can I plant it in my bag of dirt?
Yes. And keep it. Okay. So you have found a rare Stanlow orchid.
What's it called?
A Staulo orchid. It only grows in this area of you're actually in the bog right now, along which none of you guys have ever been in this bog before. We're gonna go to the stream and ask the stream to name this bog. What is the bog called? And of course, you as a nature cleric know that bogs.
I'm a grave cleric,
Oh, grave
actually.
cleric.
I just really like nature.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, you as a nature buff, then know that these bogs are actually a unique living creature, a living plant creature that has a sort of semi-sentience, but not like it's not intelligent or anything. It's not like you're gonna have a conversation with this entity, but it's a plant creature. What is? Did we get? Does anyone watching the stream? Did we get a name?
Not yet.
Nothing.
yet.
Nothing yet.
Oh, okay. Someone can give us a name if you're watching. A name for the bog.
While
I don't want
that's
to name it.
while that's going on, I will just kind of just like lay the squirrel down on the ground and then pull out the book.
Oh, it's called
and just-
Temi Bog.
Emmy?
Yeah.
Temi Bog.
Thanks, Kendra.
Thanks, Kendra.
Yeah. Temi Bog. And you found the rare Stanlow orchid that grew out of the bog.
As that's all happening, Blathers is going to take out his book once again. He's going to, and he's just going to write down like just some quick things about the real cool looking flower.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, you
and
could
then
like draw a sketch of it too. Yeah.
he's no good at drawing. He's just
Oh.
gonna write about it, and then he's just gonna like close the book, and he's gonna pick up his squirrel again, and he's gonna like bring it up to his mouth to just take a bite of it. And,
The
just
flower?
kind of- no, my
The
squirrel.
The squirrel.
Squirrel.
No,
Oh my
the
God.
flower.
I was like, what?
No.
I missed
This is
the part of
mine
that.
now. No, I just
don't eat
pick
the
up squirrel.
flowers.
I pick up the squirrel and like about to take a bite of it, and then I'll
Yeah.
like kind of hobble over towards Talon. You have me intrigued what blue squirrel tastes like.
Tala will take it, and she will, as she prepares them, she will all cook the squirrels that she has per everybody's liking, like steak, and she'll use her very special frying pan to do it.
Awesome.
May I please have mine medium? Thank you.
So if you get attacked while you're making dinner, do you get extra heat damage?
I mean, I think that Tala could be cooking treats right now. I believe she has the chef proficiency feat, so she could be cooking treats at this moment. Squirrel treats.
Could be
And
squirrel.
as you guys settle down for for a long rest, we're going to take a little bit of a break here on the stream, and we'll come back in about 15 minutes.
Sounds good.
That's good.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okie
I think
dokie.
we're actually we could come back at 8:30. Does that sound good?
Mhm.
Because it's
Yep.
8:20.
No.
Yep.
8:20 now. So
All right.
Okay.
We'll be back.
yes, thank you everyone for watching, and we will be back.
So admin question, Andrea. You want me to put it on standby or speaker view, and one of us will talk?
Put it on standby.
All right. Standby done. All right. There we go. Oh, people can hear me.
All right,
Hey,
welcome
everyone.
back.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Andrea.
No, it's all good. I thought Blair was going to just switch to one screen and then to all of us, but he didn't. That's okay. Take it away, Matthew.
All right, we're back. Welcome back, everyone. We have decamped along the Phthalia River, heading to Badger Point. We are in search of adventure, and we've been offered a contract by the Badger King to investigate a robbery of their counting house and treasury of some mysterious item not mentioned yet. However, our first night of travel, we have, as I said, decamped along the river. And even now, the party is chatting amongst themselves. And Tala has made everyone a nice dinner of squirrels. And everyone is settled in. At this point, I'm going to move you to a map. Where I'd like you to take your tokens and position yourselves around camp. This is the inset hillside that you were able to find. This little black area. Those are the trees alongside the river, mostly sycamores. Or cottonwoods. Is everyone, and there's the fire. There's the others.
You gotta have a fire. That's one of the things I do easily.
I think I'll probably be, or Azure, probably be closer to the river, not so close to the fire. It dries her skin out a little too much. Gotta keep damp a little bit.
I am standing next to the fireplace, patiently waiting for blue squirrel. I'm very curious what that tastes like.
Nice.
You'll be very disappointed when it's not actually blue in color.
And y'all
Probably.
are
But Tala promised me blue squirrel,
Blue.
so that's what I'm waiting for.
it looks like Azure is on watch at this too, right?
Sorry, I'm eating apples with peanut butter, but yes, I'll be watching the river for anything
Okay.
incoming.
Miss Tala, I have some blue flowers if you'd like to crush that and put it on top of Blather's squirrel so it's actually blue.
Oh, good. I was going to ask you for something.
There you go.
Perfect.
That's what you meant by blue squirrel? You're
No,
just
no,
dyeing
no.
you're just dyeing it blue with flowers?
No. I'm gonna make it really good for you. And Tala will go on to kind of explain the difference between the different types of cooked meat, like blue and well and medium and all of that, and how she knows it's perfect. It's a
Blathers doesn't understand any of it. He is just staring just between squinty-eyed and wide-eyed at you, but it makes no difference. It's all just okay.
And Tala will just keep talking because food is like the thing she knows a lot about, the one thing. So yeah, she'll just keep talking about preparation of squirrel and
yeah.
That.
With all of this going on, I'd like you to make a perception check, Azure.
All right.
Everyone else is in the cave chatting together.
Okay. Not great. It is a 2.
Okay. And
So
what would your passive perception be then?
Sorry, 1 second. So it's a 4.
4. Is your passive perception?
It's passive. Oh, passive percentage. Sorry, it's 12.
Okay. So you do not notice these creatures approach.
Uh-oh.
What creatures?
Dun,
Creatures that you don't notice.
Makes sense.
What's everyone else's passive perception?
13.
Blue squirrel.
Blue squirrel, yeah.
11.
11.
13.
Okay, yeah, you guys don't notice these creatures. And I'm gonna roll a 15 plus. You'll have to pardon me as I'm learning to roll dice again. It's really cool, actually. I like it.
What is math? The computer used to
It's
just do it the
18.
last year for me.
All right, everyone roll initiative. So what you do is, I'll give you, I guess you can't roll to a token. So I'll give you guys, I'll add a turn for each of you. And then roll your initiative and put the number in manually.
Where are we putting in the number?
In there. I just added them all first before I wanted to roll it.
Do you want our dex number in there as well in case there
Yeah,
is?
so you roll a d20 plus your dexterity bonus.
No, I.
Oh
no,
yeah,
I got
sure, that would be helpful.
So if there's a
What you were going to
tie-
say, Ayla, is putting in your dex bonus to modify if you guys fall on the same number, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Anonymous, for gifting a sub.
Oh.
Awesome.
Someone loves us. We're real people doing the thing.
Yay, thank you. We really appreciate that.
And Kendra, I think you're close on
Okay,
your guesses.
so we were all in there except Blathers. I don't have Blathers. There we go. And that's where you would end up anyway. So that's perfect. So at the top of combat, creature appears out of the darkness and hurls a dagger at you, Azure.
Okay.
Rolls with
Whoa!
advantage.
Thank you, Anonymous, for the 6
5.
gifted subs.
Wow.
Jesus.
Holy cow.
Holy.
Holy hell.
Wow, thank you so much.
Wow, Torsten, you were one of those.
I know.
Okay, so
Thank you very much.
All right. So
18 to hit.
oh, that hits.
All right. A dagger is flung out of the darkness as this creature appears in front of you. It hisses and says something in a strange language.
Is it something I understand?
Do you speak Sylvan?
I do not.
I do.
And sorry, how much did
if it's close enough that I could hear.
You
Yeah,
are prey. You hear.
Sorry, go
As
ahead.
it strikes.
how much did the dagger hit for? Sorry.
So the dagger hit an 18 to hit, and I haven't actually rolled damage yet.
Okay.
So focusing on the RP. And as it is a sneak attack, 1, 2, it's 3d4 plus 3 damage. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 damage.
Ooh, that hurts.
Holy hell.
That
It's
hurt a
okay.
lot.
If you go down, I can heal you fully. Perks of great
Another
domain
appears in the
cleric.
cage.
Oh
It's actually
boy!
next to
Jesus,
Aqua.
Anonymous. Thank you for the another 4
What?
gifted subs.
Wow.
Oh
Oh,
my
yo,
god.
I'm one of those. Hello, thank you.
Thank you, whoever it is out there in
Double twos with
Twitchland.
advantage on to attack you, Blair.
What? What?
No, double twos. I rolled a 2 and a 2, so it's a 6 doesn't 7 doesn't hit you, right?
No.
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 Boy, oh boy.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
These don't seem to be gnomes. Just so you know. These are not gnomes.
As the fighting is now starting, can we all see what these creatures are?
I will describe them as soon as their turn is over, yes.
Okay.
The third one appears. The third and final one
Oh no. Oh no.
appears behind Peridot. And yes, indeed, attacks you, Peridot.
Oh gosh. Oh goodness gracious.
An 8.
That
I
is
rolled a
not.
3 and a 2.
That
I
is
shit you
not
not. I'm looking at them on the table. So 8 misses. So it tries to stab you in the back, like literally right in your kidney, and you're like, ah, oh no, and you like block it with your. I guess do you use
A
a shield?
shield, yeah.
Yeah, you grab your shield and you just block it at the last second.
That's very rude of you.
What
I'm
you
just
see
trying
before you,
to enjoy a nice
strange
gnome.
creatures with hoof-like legs. You can see they have cloven feet, and they look. They're wearing these strange cloaks. They have these big old noses, and you don't really recognize what they are, but they have shadows like swirling all around them.
Oh goodness. Oh gosh.
Ooh.
If you want to, as a reaction, make a knowledge history check.
I would love to.
That uses up your reaction though.
That's all good.
Oh wait,
I'm
sorry, we're in a surprise round, so that doesn't.
Oh, never mind.
I rolled an
So,
11
Auckland,
anyways.
you are no longer surprised. Tala, you are no longer surprised. Peridot, you are no longer surprised. Azure, you are no longer surprised. Blather, you are no longer surprised. Forgot you were all surprised. The creatures attack again. This one moves up towards you directly, Azure, and grabs their dagger back and strikes again.
Right.
15 to hit.
Jeez, that hits.
I'm sorry. It is not a sneak attack.
Okay.
It does 3 damage.
Oh, I am still up.
Where are you
Auckland.
at, girl?
By how
I was
much?
gonna say,
I'm
I
at
see
one.
a pixel of green on roll 20, so
I have
Oh,
one.
Auckland, I just rolled a natural 20.
No, you didn't. Oh no,
I didn't?
No, you didn't.
Why didn't I?
you didn't. I have a grave cleric thing that makes the natural 20s go away. I think.
I don't know if you do yet. You're level 2, so I
I
don't know
don't
what you
have that
have.
yet.
Tell me what you have.
Do I not have that yet? I know grave clerics get it.
Sorry, while
No,
she's
you-
looking that up, who was the natural 20 at? Where was it
Auckland.
coming
Blair.
from? Oh, okay, gotcha.
So
Never mind, I don't have it yet. I'm sorry.
No!
Oh.
I'm sorry. That's a later thing. I tried.
I appreciate the effort. So will my dead corpse.
I tried.
yeah, I'm gonna double check how these creatures, how this works, because they do extra damage on a sneak attack or a critical, I think.
She'll heal
Dagger.
you. It's all good.
If the dark one has no, so it does not have advantage, so it doesn't do extra damage. So it's only 2d4 plus 3, so 4, 7, 10 damage, Blair.
I am still up.
And this one, seeing Tala, turns and strikes at Tala.
Never mind. That's a
10 to hit.
That's a
I'm
6th level ability.
Yeah, it's okay. I thought I wasn't sure, but it's fine. It's no big deal.
Ten's
so
a
Tala,
miss.
10 to hit.
10's a miss.
10 is a miss. The creature hisses and says in Sylvan, "No, you must fall." But that is it seems to be impotent. That makes it Auckland's turn.
As I sitting around a fire, I probably tend to sit here with my axe chopping wood, as
Yep.
I often do.
Yep.
So I've got a hand axe in my hand.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So I would like to cast Shocking Grasp and deliver it through the blade of the axe.
Just to be a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Alright.
Do it.
Okay, so
So it's still a range. It's still a range. It's still a spell attack. So,
Okay, so let's just roll.
or
and
which
see.
is better? Would your melee attack be better, or would your spell attack be better?
That's a good question. It's based on charisma, so yeah, my
Yeah. So do your spell attack.
yeah.
I
spell
mean,
attack.
that's what a shocking grasp is anyway. So yeah, do
Yeah.
that. But thematically, you're using your axe to do it. I
Yes.
like it.
So I rolled a natural 14 plus charisma of 4 plus
That
my
hits.
proficiency of 2. Is it?
Yeah, you
20?
got it.
Yes. Now I don't know if it'll do extra blade damage, but that's up to you. 'Cause I
It
am
doesn't do
doing it
any
for the
extra blade
shocking
damage.
grasp, yeah.
It still does regular shocking grasp damage. So 1d8, I believe. No,
Okay,
it's-
so it takes 1d8 damage, and it cannot take reactions until the start of its next turn.
Yeah, and you know what I'm going to give you, because you did it that way. I like it, and you improvised. I'm going to say you can do your strength bonus damage.
Oh.
So what's your strength bonus
Strength
damage?
bonus is surprisingly 2 for a sorcerer.
Okay, so yeah. So you do 1d8 plus, and then the 2 damage, because you're using your axe, goes through as well.
Nice. So that would be 8 damage total.
8 damage. The creature is still alive, but bloodied.
And I'll be yelling, back down. Don't interrupt my fire. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but that's fine, whatever.
Okay, that makes it Talus' turn.
Wouldn't it be Blathers? He also had 17.
Oh, what's your deck? I didn't. I guess there's a late roll. I'll resort that. And let's go. Blathers, what's your dex?
I have a +3.
0.3. Okay. And Auckland, so you should have gone before Auckland. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
0.2. And we'll resort that, but we'll make it your turn now.
Okay. Seeing all this going on, I'm just going to unfurl my wings. Woo! And just gonna launch myself up.
Okay, the cave's about 15 feet high, so you can get up and above.
Oh, we're in a cave.
Yeah, we're in a cave.
Oh, I thought we were on a top of like a hill or something. I didn't
No,
realize.
you
we were in a
guys were able
cave.
to find a really good little. It's not a. It's totally good for you to get out. You can still fly out. It's
How
not a
how
problem.
high is the ceiling of this cave then?
15
total?
feet.
15 feet. Okay.
So it's totally you can just be like,
I will still go to the 10 feet up, just straight up 10 feet.
Okay.
And then I want to take my bow and I'm going to use a bonus action. And I am going to, where was it here? Stop, go away, things.
We're losing your audio as you're looking away.
Sorry, my apologies.
Okay. No worries.
As I fly up, I am going to go ahead and, what the hell is it here? I'm gonna use my Crimson Right as a bonus action on my bow. So I'm gonna hurt myself for D4.
How does this look? Tell us.
Oh, so what's gonna happen is I am going to grab my bow, but as I grab my bow, I can switch to this camera. But as I fly up and grab my bow off my side, I'm just gonna pull a bunch of my own feathers out with it, and then just kind of just throw them away as little bits of skin and blood. Not a whole hell of a lot, but enough that it's like, ow, it's painful, but it's fine. It'll grow back. And that's how I invoke it. And that will do a total of, come here, D4. 3 points of damage to myself.
Excellent. As you invoke your blood right.
And then as my action, I'm going to take a shot at the one currently attacking right behind Peridot and Tala with my bow. So that will be, that is going to be 17 to hit. 12 plus 5.
17 hits.
Excellent.
You strike the dark
that'll be-
creature.
So that'll be my D6 plus my D4 because of Crimson Right. So that is 4, 5, 6 because of archery, 7, 8, 9 from dexterity. So 9 piercing plus
9
3
piercing.
lightning.
Plus 3 lightning damage. And which one did you attack?
The
This
one
one?
directly behind Tala and Peridot.
It is just barely alive. You strike it in the chest, and you see it go, and it falls to one knee, and its weird cloven leg like bends back, and it's like holds the ground, and it roars.
I
So
just
what?
ready another arrow and just kind of float in the air, and that's the end of my turn.
All right, and Tala, that makes it your turn.
So Tala was in the middle of making supper for everyone, and she takes her cooking very seriously. Like interrupting her cooking or a mealtime, just no. So she turns to the one that's right next to Peridot there. She grabs the frying pan that she was using to cook, and she's like, "You ruined our supper!" And she goes into a rage.
Uh-oh.
And
You made an oopsie.
and she swings her cast iron frying pan that is still hot from being on the fire at the dude next to Peridot. So that is 15 to hit.
15. Let me double check that one. That is a hit. as it passes over the creature's leather armor and strikes it right in the face.
Do I have a D8? I do have a D8. Haha. Ooh, that's a good roll. So that is going to be 9 points of damage.
And tell us how you finish them off, Tala.
Tala just takes a great big old swing, and you see like squirrel meat go everywhere as she moves her frying pan, and it smacks this thing on the side of the head, and you just hear this sizzle from the heat of the cast iron, and I think some skin like sticks to the pan as she finishes off the swing.
Yeah, and you smash the creature, and it like poofs into a puff of shadow, and it begins to flicker. Non-magical, this strange light begins flashing out from it, and it and its possessions begin to burn up in this strange dark light. Everyone in the area within 10 feet must make a Constitution save.
Oh boy, am I good at that?
Do I count as being within 10 feet?
You flew up. I'm gonna say yes.
Am I in it or no?
You are not.
Okay.
Total 18.
I got Periodot, Blathers, and Tala. 18? You pass. The blinding flash does not blind you.
Oh, thank goodness.
I had a modified 20.
Modified 20, you do Wingless, you are blinded. But Andrea, you are not. I mean, Andrea, you are not, and Ashley, you are not blinded either. So,
oh boy.
Yes, just Blathers.
Oh,
Blathers is blinded. Blinded Blathers! And you're like, ooh, 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 ooh! Sorry, Blathers. Period.
That's okay.
The creature, however, dissipates into non-existence.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, 5. 10. I would like to guiding bolt this one in front of Azure.
Yeah. You point your hand out and you're like, what's your guiding bolt look like?
That's cocked. It looks like a bunch of like vines and twigs all rushing towards it to like entangle it. Everything I do looks very druidic, but
cool.
In a divine way.
Cool.
Oh, 17 plus 5. I think that hits.
That hits. Yeah, that's a 23.
Um,
your and your guiding bolt washes over the darkling.
4d6. 6 plus 6 equals 12, plus 2 equals 14, plus 4 equals 18. 18 radiant damage.
It just boom blows the creature up. Azure and Peridot, you need to both make a save versus the death flash.
Oh boy.
Okay, what was that one again?
What kind of save?
That's a Constitution save. And
A total of 10.
Yeah. 10 passes, actually. Just barely.
18.
19 passes. And Blathers, you're not near enough for that one.
Ah, okay, never mind then.
So, yeah, but you're already blinded. So you wouldn't need to make it anyway. So, yes, that one explodes in a blinding flash as well. A flash of darkness light. It's weird.
Oh,
it's
boy.
like light, dark lights, trippy kind of.
Like a strobe light almost?
Yeah, it's like black light. Yeah, like think of like black light. It's like, and then
I do not remember being invited to a rave, as you people call it.
If any of you are wearing like white or anything, you are like, as it happens, it like glows, makes her shit glow.
Tala's apron, her white chef's apron is like,
yeah,
like neon.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving forward though, there is one creature left, and this is still combat. So Azure, you are badly wounded.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm going to stay where I am, and I'm just gonna throw a dart at it.
Okay.
So 17 to hit.
17. You strike the creature, with your dart, and it hits, striking true
For 5 damage.
for 5. And that is enough as your dart strikes it in the neck, and it explodes also in a blinding flash. I need you, Auckland, to roll a saving throw versus the blindness.
I also in that.
You are parried off, yeah.
Lovely. I've been trying to not be blind
You got
this
hit
whole
by
time.
every single one.
Yeah. 17.
17, you're not blind again.
Ooh, modified 20.
Yeah, you're not blinded.
Yes.
So this creature explodes in a blinding flash of light, just as the others did. And you're left with only questions.
Hey, come back!
Strange dark spots on the ground, which glow still with that black light. And interestingly enough, anything that is made of white fabric retains a slight glow.
Interesting.
So, like your apron talon is Tala is still glowing.
Oh,
It goes away after about a minute. It's not a permanent magical effect or anything. But when it happens, it's just like, oh, that's weird.
Azure, I have a very strange question for you.
There is, I should mention, one other thing that the creatures have left behind.
Oh, they gone. Blathers is up 10 feet in the air, just fucking wildly.
They're gone, Blathers. You can fly down to the ground now.
I cannot see the ground.
Auckland,
Just fly straight.
you see something at your feet.
Blathers slowly
I will-
lowers himself straight down, still with the bow out.
Do an Arcana check. Make sure it's not going to blow me up.
Yeah, you can make an Arcana check, please. Yeah.
Azure, do you mind if I just quickly give you a quick bonk?
Bonk?
Yeah, if I hit you and knock you out really quick so I can give you the best healing possible.
Sure.
Circle of
Better.
life.
I work better with people who are unconscious and can't criticize me.
Okay, I'm gonna take a knee and let her bonk.
I do not like the sound of this when I'm
It's
still
consensual.
blind.
It's consensual.
Yep.
I hit her with the blunt side of my mace for 1
Right.
hit point of damage and knock her out.
And when you do it, you kind of like don't feel guilty. You're like,
I'm like,
you
I'm
feel guilty,
sorry.
but you kind of enjoy it too.
Okay, so you get a total of 8, 9, 10, 11 hit points back.
Hey, it's great.
Arcana check of 6.
So yes, it doesn't seem harmful in any way, shape, or form.
Perfect.
It's a little black pouch, probably about the size of your fist.
I open it up.
Okay.
Reach inside of it.
You reach down and you open it up, and there seems to be 5 gemstones in it. 3 of them are black, and 3 of them are white.
I grab
I mean,
one of the
sorry,
black
2 of them are
ones.
white. I meant 3 are black and 2 are white.
Oh, yeah,
Doesn't say-
math. Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Is there when we look around, is there more pouches like this, or is there
No,
just
just
one?
the one.
Just one.
And none of you can immediately identify the stones. So,
My name is a stone. Can I look?
do you have knowledge nature?
Do I? No. I do not.
Well, you can roll an untrained knowledge nature check to determine if you know what these stones are.
Looky.
Nature
What?
of
17.
nature of 16. So
Nature of 16.
Yeah.
The black stones are what are known as Elven Tears.
sounds sad.
Sounds quite sad.
They're a stone that's formed by and found in volcanic. And you roll a not high enough history nature check that you know they're formed in volcanic regions. And they're prized for they're clear. Like you look at them, they're like these black. But as you hold them up to the light, you can kind of see through them.
Oh, they're translucent.
And each of them are the same shape. Each white stone and each black stone are the same shape as well.
I kind of hold up a white and a black and kind of look.
So,
through
and the
both.
white stones haven't been identified yet. So,
Still gonna try it. Hold them both up. Look through it and see if it's like some weird like funhouse mirror effect or anything.
And they don't seem to be magical,
No.
just non-magical stones. But there is no, yeah, kind of a little bit maybe, yeah, sure, because you can see like a little bit of a glint reflection in them.
Then may I take a look at the white one?
I just kind of dropped them back in the bag and tossed the whole bag over.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Non-magical. Not my area.
Flat 15 for
Flat
nature.
15, you know that they are moonstones.
Moonstones.
Yes,
ooh.
indeed.
These are moonstones. I know another urchin Essie named Moonstone. Not really. We're acquaintances.
Where I threw the dart, is my dart there to retrieve?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna pick
Yeah.
that one back up and dust it off.
You can. I usually reskin darts as throwing daggers.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that
Yeah.
works.
Tala's busy like picking up the squirrel meat and like she's muttering to herself. She's so angry because it ruined her dinner, but she's like trying to brush the dirt off the squirrels just so we can have supper still.
Yeah.
It's
And this is a
okay if
random
you want to put dirt on mine.
You guys could also make a knowledge check to determine if you know what those creatures were.
Blathers is curled up in a ball right where he landed because he's
This
still
is-
blind.
Oh no, you're not blind anymore. Run away.
Nat
Oh.
20
Just
on
as
the
trade
creature.
intelligence. I got
Oh.
4.
Blair got a 20.
I got
Okay.
a nat 20 on my check.
Blair, those creatures are creatures of the Shadowfell, and Feywild. They're known as Darklings.
Oh. Guys, I don't know how I know that.
Combat, we're talking about the Darklings that had attacked the party, and Blair Auckland seems to know quite a bit about Darklings. You must have been reading them in a book, reading about them in a book when you were a child, perhaps.
I think it came in one of my visions because I have bad visions of bad things.
Totally. I'm actually going to put in the roll 20. I'll put the creature in your in your able to be seen, so you can take a look at them. Oh, I'm having a problem now too, apparently. Oh, never mind. Anyway, yes. So it seems strange that they attacked us, and it definitely wasn't just a random attack. But in any case, you guys are able to bed down at this point, and taking watches, you are able to get a long rest. You awaken the next morning with another day's travel on your mind.
Okay, great. Back up to full.
We're getting long rest. Long rest.
Oh, yes. Hit points. Hit points.
Yeah.
Tala would be busy making us all like a really nice breakfast, and as she's cooking breakfast, she'd be busy. If anyone happened to look over, you'd be seeing her make some kind of like treats or something, which seems a little weird for first thing in the morning, but
I probably got up nice and early with you and we got us some fish for breakfast.
Heck yeah.
I'm just
make
making
a-
sure my flour is okay.
Yeah, make a survival check. That your flower is in perfect condition. You're able to
Wonderful.
catch it just at that moment, and it will be unless something happens to it, you're gonna have it forever.
I do warn you,
Allowed
every
it.
chance you bring it out, there's a chance that I might accidentally, firebolt it or something.
I have it carefully on my side. Please don't firebolt my precious, precious flower. It
Actually,
looks like
roll
a
a d20
pseudo
for me,
dragon.
Blair.
Oh no.
Natural
thir-
one.
Oh no.
Yeah,
no.
you are having a lot of trouble with your wild magic today. Yeah, that's good.
I'm just protecting my flower.
13 on the survival.
Yeah, you're able to catch a couple of salmon out of the river, and
Thank
you make a fishes.
The morning is the best time to catch these things.
mm. And they're awfully tasty, like fresh from the river. That's the best time to cook them.
I have some herbs if you need them.
Always, always.
Okay, at least
For
I'm useful.
seasoning.
Some people like unseasoned food. It's very strange.
Just a tad. I mean, I kind of have a feeling of what everybody's taste buds are like, and I think I'm usually pretty close, but you know, can't please everyone sometimes.
I'm curious if you would get the saltiness that my character requires for her food.
Calla would probably try.
It's just a whole pouch of salt.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just saw me like generously pouring a few times, and you're just like, okay, I need to triple my salt amount on this.
Blather's eyes just get wider and wider the longer you keep pouring and pouring.
You know, it's the breading essentially.
Don't worry, Blathers. I left some salmon sashimi for you just over there.
Yes. So you guys have a nice salmon breakfast, and then you set out upon the Phthalia River again, heading to the southwest towards Badger Point. The weather again today is smoky, as the line that must not be crossed again billows its foul stench across the fair land of Thalia. Who knows what evil goes on in that land of darkness? Who's leading the party?
Like leading us down the river?
Yeah.
Bazaar.
Probably me.
For sure.
Probably I'm gonna say the one that owns the boat.
Bazaar.
Okay. So as you're at the head of the canoe, sort of leading the way, directing. Imagine that the Phthalia River is like, you know, it's a big river. It's not just we got to find you different tributaries. There's shallows and stuff like that, right? You don't want to get stuck on the rocks and blah blah blah, this and that. So give me a survival check.
Okay.
If there's someone else trained in survival, they can aid you.
Only if it's for tracking certain creatures.
Okay.
Okay.
Calla's
Blair
trained
has, Blair, I think
do
Blair's
have
character has
survival.
survival.
Oh, you do?
I do
Okay.
have
So
survival.
he can give you he can give you the help action.
Oh wait,
Calla
sorry.
can also help if needed.
Were you asking for who's
Oh,
proficient
there you
in
go. So
survival?
you got two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, then
That-
yes, I am
oh.
proficient in survival.
Yeah, then you
Okay.
can help. Whenever you're proficient in a skill, you can help someone else with that skill,
Much
giving them
much
advantage.
much better. 19.
Nice.
Nice.
So 23.
Awesome. So you're able to guide the party down the river safely, and at one point you see a what looks like a junket boat, a river boat, and on it you can see some gnolls riding on the boat. You make out at least 3 moving on the river boat, and you need to tell us if you want to move towards the boat or move away from it. Additionally, you're going to have to try and avoid these creatures if you do want to get away from them.
Yeah, let's try avoid them. Let's try and get past.
Okay.
Continue our way
The
down.
Knoll boat. It's like a river boat, and you can see the creatures even from they're about 100 feet away in the distance. No, I'll say more like a quarter mile on the river. They see you, you spot them, they spot you. They fire some ineffectual arrows in the distance.
Would
And
you
you
like
realize-
me to cast Pass Without a Trace, friends?
I think they've already seen us at this
Oh.
point.
No, that's
Okay.
legit. You could totally do that.
Oh, you could?
Well, think about this. You guys are on a river, so you could you could like paddle, hit a spot, and then cast Pass Without Trace, and then float by them.
I would prefer to avoid conflict, so
All right. I can cast Pass Without a Trace. What's today?
Okay, so you cast Pass Without Trace. I need you to make a quick survival check. with advantage again.
Okay.
And then everyone can make a group stealth check using their pass without trace.
And everyone has +10 to the stealth with
What did
pass
you get,
without a
Ayla?
trace.
I am not gonna lie, but I have
A
just
20
picked
and a
them
10. Nice.
20 and oh sorry, that was rotated 16.
Okay,
So
well, you're good.
24.
Yeah, you're able to get and lead the others in sort of this canoe chase. No mishaps happen, and you're able to get a spot on the river where a Peridoc can cast pass without trace. Now I need everyone to make a stealth check.
With disadvantage from my
Some of you have disadvantage, yes. Yeah. But
So
still, it's
I
a
ro-
group stealth.
I rolled a 16 and a 17.
Nice. And what's your vote?
So +1, so 17, 27 with pass without a trace.
Good, yeah.
24,
It's more academic.
24 for Blathers.
24, okay.
It'd be 27 as well.
27.
13.
Modified 20.
Was that with pass
Modified
without a
20.
trace,
That was
guys?
with pass without
Blair,
a trace.
did you add pass without trace, or is that
I did not. No.
okay? So 20.
Plus
Yeah.
10.
You guys are good. You guys actually sail right past the knolls, and you have to you to get by them quickly. You go like 10 feet by them along the shoreline, moving past these cottonwood trees, and the trees are blowing in the wind, and the hyena men are hopping all over this junket, and you can see this boat. It's like half sunk in the water, and you're really glad you decided to avoid them too, because there's 7 of them on there,
Ooh.
and
Yikes.
they're like that boat ain't theirs. You can see blood streaks on the boat and stuff like that. It's a pretty grisly sight. But they move down the river, and you're able to avoid them.
I have this urge to set them on fire.
We just passed the
Auckland,
river, you guys.
no.
They're way over there. I can do it from 120 feet away.
Auckland, I just made us stealthy.
Will they be on fire for very long? They are on water.
It is definitely recognized by every member of the party that you would have been overmatched by those gnolls.
Auckland, don't set them on fire.
No, just the boat, and then the boat will sink.
I think the
it's-
boat's about to sink by itself.
Tala just starts paddling faster.
Yeah, it was a tragic thing to see, but even adventurers then need to know when not to fight. You know what I mean?
Blathers briefly lands on the side of the canoe to have this conversation, and then as soon as Tala starts paddling harder, Blathers is like, "I'm just wait," and flies away.
Okay, yeah. So you guys move on, and by the end of the day, you see docks in the distance, and in the woods, to the left of you, to the southwest, you begin to see these large, red and white mushrooms, the size of trees, rising in the woods.
Hello. Mushroom forest.
As you come up to the docks, you hear it cry out, "Greetings! What's your business?"
We're adventurers with Andrea's adventurers.
Should we be so honest right up front?
Yes, we have a job.
What if they hate Andrea's adventures?
But we have a job from them.
Can we see that these people that are yelling are gnomes?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The dock that you arrive at is you see a few gnomes milling about. A couple moving on the ships to the side there, and you guys come up with your canoe, and you're greeted by a young gnomish fellow, and he says, "Oh, what's your business in Badger Point?"
I didn't say any of that then. I didn't realize we could see the gnomes.
Yeah. No, I'm monologuing. I didn't get a chance to monologue fully yet. So here we are on the docks.
We're adventurers with Andrea's adventurers, and we got a quest to come help.
Oh, well, let's see your paperwork.
I pull out the paperwork. It's a little dirty.
Takes the scroll, unrolls the parchment, looks at it. Ah, summons from the king himself. Quite important. Ah, Name's Jeff. I'm the
Jack?
harbor master here. I just took over the position from me uncle. It's going to be 2 gold to dock your canoe here. You have to beach it on the shore.
How much if we just burn it?
No.
Auckland!
No.
Sorry.
The gnome scowls at you immediately. He looks very, very disconcerted by your suggestion that you burn a canoe at his docks. Don't be getting in too hasty and doing.
I give him
no
2
chaos
gold.
around here. This is the Badger Kingdom. We won't cander to none of that.
I actually give him 3 gold as an apology for Auckland saying that he burns a boat.
Is it not fair, though, that, to be fair, she owns the canoe? Could she not do what she wishes with her own canoe?
Aye. You could beach it on the shore if you wish. I'm not responsible. If you dock it here, I'll take care of it. Make sure no one's. We would
Here you
take care of it.
go.
Make sure no one
Here you
takes it.
go, Jack. Take 3 gold.
Jeff.
Jeff, I'm so sorry I'm bad with names. I'll amend my notes. Now, is that Jeff spelled
It's Jeff. It's
J-E-F-F?
short for Jeff Ingalls, Jeffrey, John, Hanyan, and your Charltons.
Jeff.
Yes.
Is that Jeff J-E-F-F or G-E-O-F-F?
Geff.
G-E-F-F. I'll amend my notes for a 3rd time.
Well,
All right.
well then.
Here's
This
your
is
3
good
gold.
point. Welcome to Badger Point. Home of the Badger Kingdom. You find food and lodging at the bridal Hippocampus on the shore. And if you're looking for goods, perhaps check out the Beach Bazaar. It's run by Mungalori. Strange fella, but he could get you just about anything that you wish,
All right. Thank you,
as long as
Jeff.
it's legal. He kind of gives a stern eye.
All right. Do you have
Is-
a favorite flower, Jeff?
I'm a rockadome, not much of a flower person. More of a working on boats person. That's my
Okay.
finest there. He points out like this really nice fishing vessel that's right there.
It's a nice boat.
Jeff.
Yeah, it's the Star Weaver, it's called.
Oh, the Star Weaver.
Yeah, that's what I call it. It's just a fishing boat.
I kind of stand like a little bit more straighter and stiffer, and I kind of ask, are there any rules and customs in this land that I need to know about so that I do not cross the line with your people?
You gotta watch out for the code of conduct. Yes, indeed. No thieving, and he points it out, and it's like a pretty standard lawful good cities rules.
I don't see anywhere on here
Meaning,
where it
like-
says that burning boats is bad.
Oh yeah, burning boats is definitely not on the list, but burning boats is there. I'm not gonna list it all out for the stream, but you guys get the understanding of lawful good laws.
Okay. Thank you, Jeff.
Ella whispers to Peridot, I think we're gonna have to keep an extra eye on Auckland in this town.
Oh, probably. Very much so.
It doesn't help that he's extra itchy right now.
Oh,
Yes, he has been. He is literally visibly glowing at this moment.
oh, should we throw a sheet over him and pretend that he thinks he's a ghost?
Fortunately, it's day. It's early in the evening still, so it's not really noticeable yet.
Do we have a spare sheet that we can throw over Auckland and cut out little eye holes?
Or a cloak, maybe like
I
a
mean,
big
if
hooded cloak.
you gotta ask Auckland if you're gonna consent to that.
Auckland, do you want to pretend you're a ghost?
No.
Oh. It will be fun. It's like a game of pretend.
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna walk over to Jeff, just kind of like boom, ba-dum, 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 as an owl does, and just kind of be
Yeah,
like,
look, for you there. I've never seen anyone like you before.
"Oh,
We
well,
don't get many but gnomes around here.
that checks out. Take me to your king."
Oh, I've got much to do, but you're welcome to dock here and go on into town. I'm sure those that parchment will get you right in there. I don't know if you'll be able to talk to the king, but you might be able to talk to the Grand Vizier.
Is
King's
the Grand
usually quite
Vizier the
busy.
one? Is
Kingly
the Grand
matters and
Vizier
such.
the one that wrote this? And I'll take out the same scroll.
Oh yes, that would have been sent by the Grand Vizier. You can see his signature on the bottom there. It's really small. I know it's hard to read. In fact,
don't
all
know
the
his-
lettering is really small because it was all written by gnomes.
I don't know his signature, but I will take your word for it.
Lean over to Tala. I'm like, maybe we should look out for Blathers as well.
I think so.
I'll just roll it
Uh,
up very neat and tidily. And they are in the Vizier?
The Vizier is a person.
Where is the person?
The Vizier would be at the Grand Canting House. That is the Church of the Badger, you see.
The Church of the Badger?
You
Yes,
worship
it's more of a
badgers.
combination church, and I've never really understood it myself, but just, it's how things are.
All right, thank you.
I don't get involved in politics and religion. I just work on the harbor.
Do you know what? We were sent to find something stolen. Have you heard anything about that?
Stolen?
Or missing? Any
Be
rumor?
public knowledge.
I don't know nothing about nothing stolen.
Miss Jeffremiah. Do you happen to know where we can find a map of the city?
A map? Well, there's no real map of the city, but I can describe it for you.
Okay.
And he describes the city. If you want to zoom out, you can actually see a number of lovely areas there.
I tried to zoom out on the stream.
Well done.
Thank you. Badger, 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 mushroom, mushroom, mushroom.
Yeah, there's a
no
lot of
snakes.
mushrooms there. Yeah.
Snake.
So here's I'll ping some spots for you. That's the bridled hippocampus there. This is the beached bazaar. You can see a beached ship. It's like a big caravel boat, and it seems to have been run aground on the river, and it's like only like about 8 feet in the water, and it's been turned into a bazaar. There's like a big like ramp up to it, and you can see like silks hanging from all the masts and stuff like that.
I'm
And,
pinging it for the stream.
Thank you. Appreciate it. There we go. And as you get a little closer, you can see fishermen's huts here. You can see a bunch of boats beached on the shoreline, and some sailing in and out even now. Right, it's the evening, so a lot of the fishermen seem to be coming back from the sea.
Sorry, Blair, it's big map.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My scroll is glitching right now, so every time I do it, it jumps on me.
It's a really cool map, though, created by our player Ayla. She created this map. It is lovely, and we thank her for it.
It looks
You gave me the bones, and then I ran. with
Yeah.
it.
Badger Point is a fully realized, colorful place. But yes, you see. Of course, you guys have been traveling all day, so you might want to find your way to the tavern first.
Which mushroom is the tavern?
The tavern isn't a mushroom.
Oh,
It's-
okay.
The bridled hippocampus is built. There's this big inn and tavern built on the shoreline, and if you and Jeff says, yeah, you can stay at the bridled hippocampus. That's the best place for out of towners. We're not really akin to outsiders within our enclave. You see.
Are there
I-
hippos there?
Pardon me?
Are there hippos there?
No, hippocampus. You know what a hippocampus is? It's a seahorse.
So
Oh,
like a
It's
little
got the legs
tiny
of
seahorse.
the front of a horse and the back end of a fish, a hippocampus. In fact,
It's a mer horse.
yes, I think it's
Oh.
named because that's the fella that runs the place. He he's a tiefling, but he's from some strange land, strange watery powers, and he can summon the hippocampus, and that's why he named the place that when he bought it.
How lovely. I was about to ask if all the ceilings are lower.
No, no, it's not built by gnomes.
Okay.
It's been owned by different conglomerates over the years. It was once a human trading post and a hub for adventurers at one time. In fact, there was even an evil witch living in the basement at one point.
Hey, do you think she left any fun things?
No, I don't know. You got to go look.
Okay. I start walking.
All right. So yeah, you can head up the docks if you want. There you are on the map.
Maybe you should look out for me.
I see. So I am Tala, chef and babysitter.
I think
Oh,
we're
there
all
goes Mary Dot.
babysitters. Yeah.
Off I go.
Seems everyone's leaving now.
Yeah, I'm gonna rush up to her.
Oh, goodbye, Jeff. Knock, knock.
So that's actually the rear of the building.
Oh,
And there are
never
ships
mind.
locked here.
Door seating.
You come in and there's this big veranda. And there's these 3 tables out there, and all 3 tables are open at this point. It seems to be early in the evening, but you can hear raucous laughter coming from the tavern, and you can hear what sounds like a comedian performing.
I walk in.
There's some fella telling jokes on the stage, and he's a blue tiefling with white eyes, but his horns seem to be like made of looks like some strange coral shape. And he's telling jokes, and I'm not going to tell jokes because I'm not much of a joker, but this guy is hilarious. I'm not going to claim to be a comedian, so I'm just going to let the stream imagine this really funny comedian. And yeah, sure enough, you walk in the tavern, and there is the image of a hippocampus above the fireplace, and it's like a illusionary swimming around above the fireplace.
Oh, how lovely.
Indeed. And most of the place is filled with gnomes. There's very few humans or elves or anyone in the place. Only you see only one half elven fella sitting in a corner, and a couple humans, fishermen, drinking in another corner. But yeah, it's mostly gnomes. Everyone's really short. They're like, hey, they're all underfoot and walking around. And,
I feel really tall, like I'm walking around.
Yeah, you're
a lot of little people.
They're all looking at you. They're all like, hey, get out of my way! Hey, come on, stop it!
Walk near.
Not to mention you're covered in wild magic.
Little shocking
like
grass.
rolling.
One bumps into me, shocks.
I mean, one of them actually casts they cast a minor illusion on you, like, cut it out, and they dull your light down because they can all cast spells. You notice that there's commonly magic being passed about. You see one of them casting a message, like, hey, get over here, come here, kind of thing. Because they're gnomes, so they're all highly magical in nature, right? You walk by an alcove, and you look in the alcove, and you're like, you don't see anyone there. You go to sit down. You're like, hey, that'd be a good place to sit. And there's 4 Spirfniblins sitting there. They're like, hey, come on, we're sitting here. Because they're camouflaged, right?
And short.
Short and camouflaged.
I didn't see you down there.
Yeah. But yeah, you guys want to get a room there, or?
I think that's best. We should.
Yeah.
probably organize for. Well, first let's probably check the rates, and then maybe organize for a few days at least.
So you
or a
see
week.
that the bar area is separate from like the inn area. You notice that there's a doorway leading to what says guest rooms.
I'm gonna look for someone who works there.
You're soon approached. You do like the "May I help you" riff. You like look around. You're soon approached by a tavern, what looks like a bar gentleman, and he comes up to you and he's like, "Hey, can I get you a drink?"
Hi. Just
Very
some
handsome,
water,
sort of
please.
bimbo-looking fellow.
Oh, okay.
Or
Hello.
himbo-looking fellow. You know what I mean? Himbo. That's what I meant to say, not bimbo. Himbo.
May I have some water? Also, how much is rooms?
Oh,
for
water.
the
Yes, of
people?
course. I don't rooms. I think you'd have to talk to the manager at the front desk. I think they're a gold piece for a week,
For a
and
week?
silver piece for a day.
Oh, okay. That's quite reasonable.
Yes,
Thank
I think
you.
so. Or 10. Still, I'm sorry, 10-day gold piece for a 10-day, silver piece for a day. But you have to ask them. I can get you some water. Why don't you sit
Thank
down?
you.
Sit down right here.
Oh, okay. I sit down.
Rushes off. Are these are you all together?
Yeah, they're my friends.
Well, welcome to the bridal hippocampus. I'll get you some menus. What? Rushes off to get you menus and stuff.
Thank
Bring you
you.
water. Very nice. Very, very gentlemanly. He turns out that some gnomes can be pretty cool.
There's not
He's
a
a gnome,
single.
by the way. He's
There's not a single thought behind those eyes.
No, exactly. He's just a little gnome guy. He's I'll get you some drinks. Just
I love
looking
this
for-
little
looking-
himbo gnome.
He doesn't even have a little beard. He's just like chair faced looking like.
I'll pull up a seat next to Peridot, and then just as waiting, I'm gonna pull out the bag with the mouse skeleton in it, and just pull out the skull bits, and just neatly arrange them on the table just for myself.
I'm glad you find pleasure out of the mouse bones that I find near my home.
I've always
Oh,
liked
you guys are
fossils.
odd.
Is there like a wall near where we are that I can just kind of watch around us and kind of
Oh, sure, yeah. You
observe?
want to do like the dark corner, like
just kind of
stare
leaning
down
and
to the
watching
artwork?
sort
do
of
the
thing.
artwork? Yeah, sure. Make an investigation check. As you guys spend about an hour settling in, and one of you wants to attend to going and getting rooms. You go off to the desk manager. It's just still that another little gnome fella.
When
And be like,
when the server comes back over, I'll lean over to him and I'll be like, "My friend and I gesture to Blathers, would really like some blue squirrel. Do you have any?"
blue squirrel? What do you mean? I don't know anything. We don't serve squirrel.
Is blue squirrel not a thing? And I kind of look over to our chef.
It stares at you nonplussed, having no idea what you're talking about.
All right,
Oh,
well, can you
I-
just send over the rooms person so we can get some rooms?
I pull the little server gnome to the side. I'm like, blue squirrel is just pretty much raw squirrel, but sprinkled with these pretty blue herbs. It just appeases them.
I'm gonna look just very
This is
squinty eyed.
quietly.
You're sitting next to me.
I'll get you some water, okay? he runs off.
16 investigation.
So peering around the room, you can see that it does seem like there are a number of uneasy folk in the room here and there. You can see some of the, mostly you notice a couple of the rock gnomes in one corner, sort of sullenly sitting over with the they seem to like there's something talking quietly amongst themselves. And in a group of two forest gnomes and a spearfniblin, they're looking at your group of party members pretty intently, and but they're doing it in such a way that that's maybe you wouldn't have noticed if you hadn't actually been actively paying attention.
Okay. When our drinks get there, I'll probably go and grab a drink and maybe murmur that to Peridot to pass it around quietly.
Oh, quietly, I can speak quietly. There are some gnomes whom are looking at us, friends. What did you say? A snurf nibblin?
Earflin.
Sorry, they're
They're deep
looking at
gnomes.
us like we're not friends.
I don't know. I'm
But
just
we're not their
referring-
friends.
I'm just no, I'm saying that you are my friends.
But we're not the gnomes' friends.
Maybe I shouldn't have told Blathers. Everyone else. They're looking at us weird, according to Azure.
Well, we are not gnomes. This is a gnome city. Checks out.
The guy on stage is not a gnome.
I'll kind of look over to the group or to the other ones. And have you never seen a talking owl before? Come on.
Oh gosh. Mister, I tried.
I'm just gonna roll my eyes and go back to my wall, just with my drink.
You told me to tell them quietly, and I did. And they're loud about it.
I was just questioning you back.
Maybe we should go make friends.
All right. And I get up and I walk over to Azure.
Hi, Blathers.
Hello. Do you consider me a friend?
I would think so. We travel together.
Does that make us friends if we travel together? Or is there more that goes into it?
Well, we don't fight. It's amiable.
Azir, I'm sorry, I hate you. I had to do it to heal you to the best of my ability.
I was about to say, she did smack you upside the head, but you said we don't fight.
No. It was agreed upon. She can heal me much better when I am not. When I was unconscious. Yeah.
So if it's agreed upon fight, it's still friendly.
Yes. There's a lot of nuance. And I'm sure you'll get it.
But we are friends.
Yes, we are friends.
Not just traveling companions, friends, yes.
Blathers just keeps nodding his head and slowly turns away and just kind of walks away while nodding his head very deeply like an owl does.
That's hilarious.
Blathers.
He's gonna walk over.
Blathers.
He's gonna walk over to Peridot.
I meant make friends with the gnomes, not Azure. We're already friends with Azure.
But I haven't traveled with the gnomes.
Exactly.
I
So
traveled with Azure. She
Yeah.
said we had to travel together.
We can make friends in different ways. Do you want to go over to that table with me and try to make friends?
With the gnomes who are not our friends.
Yes. The only
Sure.
way to
I
make
start
friends.
walking.
Oh gosh. Okay. The only way to make friends is to talk to people. It's a lesson I've learned the hard way with all of you.
I walk over to the table. bobbing
I
my head.
follow.
You walk over to which table?
The
one-
snurf nibbling.
The
Wait,
gnomes that are the gnomes that are not
that
my
were hiding in the
friends.
dark corner.
Sure.
The
That
snurfling nibbling that was looking
As you
at
approach
us.
closely, you hear from the darkness, "What you want?"
I stop for a brief moment and I look over at Peridot. I'm assuming to make friends.
Yes, to be friends. Friendly.
One of them kind of stands up, all his like 2 feet tall from the table, and he has to like hop down from the seat because this is a human-sized establishment, right? Like I said.
Mhm.
He hops down and he crosses his arms. What kind of friends do you think you could be to us? We got no interest. What do
Friendly
you got to offer?
friends. Friendship and flowers. And herbs.
Make a persuasion check.
All right.
Did you
Yes.
pull out your beautiful flower that you found?
I'm not going to give that to him.
Okay, well, you said flowers, so
I have flowers in my hair.
I must correct myself. I'm here as an observer.
Total of 3.
Yeah, he is. I got no interest in flowers.
I have herbs. Do you spice?
Herbs, maybe.
Okay. I have some rosemary. I have some parsley. I have some
What do I
really
look like,
hard
a cook?
to pronounce. Oh,
I was
you
hoping
want
you- I was hoping you
those? You want
was hoping you
those
meant
kind
some,
of
like,
herbs?
Some
I
kind of
have
other herbs.
I have some seaweed.
You have
Oh
seaweed.
yeah.
I thought that belonged to Azure.
She gave it to me.
I mean, yeah, I'll take it. Thanks.
All right, cool. That will be 5 gold, please.
I'm gonna look wide-eyed over her like,
I thought you were giving it to me. I'm so confused.
Talk to people.
I thought we were here to make friends.
Well, you
This
don't
is
want to be
turning
my
into
friend
a
at all.
bargaining
This is
offer.
a transactionary relationship.
I'm sorry. Most of the people I talk to ask for money or some form of documentation.
I thought you were just sharing your
For
seaweed
friendship?
with me.
I don't know.
I thought we were bros. Why do you gotta be
Oh,
like
okay.
that?
No, you can just have the seaweed. I'm sorry.
It goes back to your group, and you hear them muttering back to themselves in Gnomish. Does anyone speak Gnomish?
No.
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 I speak Common, Elvish, and Primordial.
Oh, you don't understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take 2 steps away and just lean over at Peridot. That was more akin to a transaction than friendship, from
Yeah,
what I've learned.
I don't know if they do. I don't think they know seaweed is just a weed from the sea.
They live next to water.
I
And then
don't.
he munched it and started eating it.
You would
Oh,
think there'd be
It's
common
just
knowledge.
a snack. Okay.
I thought I was just going with it. To them, yeah.
Oh, suddenly Blathers gets an excellent idea. Oh, and then he bobs his way over to Azure.
Mhm.
I hope you don't mind. She gave away your seaweed gift.
That's okay. It
I
she
have
found
more.
she found a use for it. Just like you found a use for the mouse skeleton that you
My mouse! I fucking like, just kind of like, I do that owl thing where like I put my head down, my feathers come out, and I fucking go over to the counter.
Yeah.
To run as an
Just
owl.
fucking is the bone still on the countertop where I left it?
So, yeah, they're totally there.
Excellent. I
taking them. No
fucking
one's cleaned them
quickly
up.
just I get over, put it in the bag. sip.
The gnomish bartender who happens to be cleaning down some glasses. She looks over and she's like, "You think I'd touch that? That's disgusting. Now that you clean that up yourself." So as this is all going on,
Oh, beans.
Tala, you guys are chatting amongst yourselves and stuff. You guys didn't really notice, but the comedy routine that has been going on ended. And Tala, you've sort of been off to yourself, sort of listening to all of the action, and you hear of someone say to you, "Excuse me," and you look up, and the comedian, the tiefling with the strange coral horns, is standing next to you. They seem to have snuck up on you somehow. Totally didn't even know they were there. It was just like,
Tala was probably a little distracted. She had her eye just kind of on like the swinging kitchen door, just trying to peek in and kind of watching what kind of dishes come out of the kitchen and that sort of thing. So when the tiefling comes up, she's looking over there and she's like, "Brownies? Oh, hello."
I am Ulysses. I am the owner of this fine establishment, and I happened to notice your frying pan, and you were watching my kitchen. I happen to have an eye for talent, and you seem quite talented with your frying pan. Would you like to do some cooking for me?
Oh, I'm always up for some cooking.
Oh, lovely.
I just never want to intrude on someone else's kitchen, but
No. Gnomes are lovely and all, but they season everything with mushrooms, and I'm just so tired of mushrooms. You see, I was hoping to bring in some seafood dishes. You see, it's more of my style. As he's talking, he smiles, and you see that he has shark teeth.
has shark teeth. He's so
Yes,
cool.
straight up shark teeth. As he opens his mouth, and you can see more shark teeth in his mouth. It's just, it would be lovely to bring in more seafood dishes. If you could work with me on the right cuisine, it would be lovely.
I mean, I'm happy to cook a dish or two this evening, but I'm actually here with my friends.
Oh yes, I know.
I'm just a traveling cook for adventurers, so
yes, noticed that as well. I'm quite observant, you see.
So we're just trying to we're part of the Andrea's Adventurers Guild.
Oh, I've heard of Andrea's Adventures.
Yes, based in Thalia. But we
What sort
had
of contract are you doing here in Badger Point?
something for the big badger. The big
For the
badger
king?
guy.
Oh.
Is he actually a badger?
No, he's not a badger. He's a gnome, as far
Okay.
as I understand.
I just assume king
No,
of the badgers, you
There are
know.
rumors, though, that the kings are perhaps were-badgers. But you didn't hear that from me.
So they are badgers.
I don't know. That's a rumor. It could be a myth. I don't know. I'm really just spreading rumors.
Okay. That's interesting.
The important thing is I'd like you to cook for me as a favor. Perhaps we can work an arrangement where your party can stay here as well.
Would be
That'd be great.
wonderful. Or how about gratis?
Well, you'd have to make me a dish first.
I can do that.
How about tonight then? Yes, let's do it. Are you ready? You'll have everything you need?
I'm ready anytime. And she pulls her frying pan kind of off her waist where it's hanging and she kind of gives it a spin, but then it clonks her in the head and she's like, yeah, I'm ready.
You need me to heal you? Are you okay?
I'm okay, Paradot. I'm okay. And you just kind of touch her head a little bit and there's this faint little glow from her hair. And she's like, yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, I forgot I don't need to heal you.
Is this your assistant? He gestures, Ulysses gestures to you, Peridot.
Hello, I'm Paradot.
I
Is this
lean
your
into.
assistant? Oh yeah, go ahead. What were you saying?
I was just gonna lean over to Peridot's shoulders, like, if she hit herself harder, could you then heal her?
Probably.
Just trying to understand how you work.
Am I kind of within earshot? I think I'd be kind of interested.
Oh yeah, you guys are all
in-
sitting at the same table.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we're all up. Okay.
So you guys were chatting about, like, talking, having those other conversations, and then this guy sidled up as you were talking, and again, Andrea was not Andrea, Tala was sort of out of the conversation, right?
Okay.
All the while, you can see Auckland is just like has been sitting there like in constant meditative, like fists clenched, just sort of like no wild magic surges, but just sort of holding it down.
The odd burst of flame, or
They're a Goliath of action. They need to have action. Yeah, you like drink a swift drink of ale, and you're like, and his fire comes up. The cool one is when you're blowing on other people's drinks to chill them. So you're like,
I don't actually have. Oh, I do. I have chaos, so maybe.
yeah. That's what I
It's
mean.
all part of the chaos. Yeah.
One could say I'm Tala's assistant. I provide her herbs.
And I
and
provide her
spices.
fish.
Yeah. So let's cook a dish. I believe you have
Wonderful.
cook's utensils proficiencies, Andrea.
I
Give me a
do.
Cook's utensils proficiency roll.
Okay, cooks.
And if
utensils.
you have an assistant using her herbalism kit to assist you, you
I
can
would
give
like to assist.
advantage.
I would like to give Andrea an advantage.
Yes.
So it's just a d20 in my proficiency?
Yeah, with advantage. So roll 2d20. And proficiency
Natural
bonus-
20.
Oh!
Natural
Let's go.
20. I will take a
Nice.
picture of it.
Oh, you don't need to. But yeah, do it anyway. Sure.
I gotta do it anyway. A 10 and a 20.
Nice.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. So you make. What do you make?
Oh
What
gosh.
does Tala make for Ulysses the proprietor of the Bridal Hippocampus.
We should make something fish-based because his shark teeth.
Tala would probably know seafood dishes, whereas I have no idea other than sushi. So
Sushi.
Let's make sushi.
go. Okay, let's do sushi.
Yeah, you make sushi. And he's like, oh, this is
Look, I have spare seaweed.
fantastic flavors. I love how you prepared it. This is like this is. Are you sure I can't hire you as my full-time chef?
I protectively put my arms around Tala and I'm like, don't take her away.
No, I'm good, but thank you for the offer. Not right now. I'm not a stay in one place kind of chef.
I think I'd probably be like, and have you ever eaten rations before? Just stop and leave it there.
We don't eat rations anymore with Tala.
Auckland's still sitting at the table. One of the two forest gnomes and the rock gnome that were sitting off to the side that I mentioned for watching you guys approach you, and they walk up to you uniformly, and the rock gnome is sort of following behind them, and you can see now as they come close, Auckland, that they're wearing some strange uniforms under their cloaks. They seem to be some sort of religious guard.
Do they startle me as they approach?
No, they don't
My
startle.
axe is still close by.
They don't startle. No, they're approaching you like obviously. The rock gnome speaks. You have been sent by Andrea's adventurers, yes?
I think so. Probably. Yes.
We have heard of your arrival, and you've been making quite the stink of your business in town. This is not what we expected from Andrea's adventurers. It seems many interests know your mission here already. The contract specified it should be very hush-hush.
I call over to I'm terrible with names. Owlboy.
Blathers.
Blathers doesn't have the contract. Ashley's character does.
Yes, but I know Blathers to be very organized.
No, but Blathers rolled it back up afterwards.
Oh, does
Blathers?
I
Blathers
assumed
does-
we all had a copy. My
No.
misunderstanding.
No, there's one
Oh.
copy.
Okay, then my
Blathers,
misunderstanding.
You've got the contract, right?
Do I?
I don't know. You guys tell me. That's a player agency thing. Who's got the contract?
If there's only one, then I'll keep with the consistency and say that Peridot has it. I was running under the assumption we all had a copy of it, which is why I said I rolled mine up.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. It's all good. I did ask. I asked. It's not. Let's just move forward. But I did ask who was carrying it when we left. So I got
Peridot.
I will look over at Auckland and say, no, I do not have it. Peridot does, but she is currently cooking, I think.
Well, this is confusing. Apparently, there's fine print that we're supposed to keep what we're doing quiet.
Is there?
Yeah. So these guys are. Indeed, there was.
Oh.
Never mind. That's not.
Oh.
That it's immaterial now.
I'll come
not speak
closer
with
now
anyone
that I've
else
been
about this.
talked to.
Yeah. So the two forest gnomes and the rock gnome that approach the party. The rock gnome introduces himself. He says, "I'm Hans Plantz. I am the High Vizier of the Badger Kingdom. You will meet
Are
with
you?
us tomorrow at 10 bells at the counting house, and we will tell you what we need you to do."
You're the one that signed the contract for the adventurers.
Correct. Hansen Plantz is my name.
One moment. And I reach into my pack and I pull out my book and I just kind of tear off a corner of it and I get my ink and quill and I just put it on the table. Can you sign your name?
What is the meaning of this?
Well, I want to see you if you can sign your name. You wrote the contract. You are clearly good with literature. Is it a problem to sign your name?
Seems Okay. And he's like, doesn't care to argue, signs his name.
Does the signature look like the signature on the scroll that I remember seeing?
Are you trained in forgery, Kit?
Not exactly.
Okay.
But I have an excellent memory for maps and geography. Does that work for
I'll let
signatures
that
as well?
That'll correlate.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's an Outlander thing. I've got the same thing.
Yeah.
It'll correlate, but it won't give you advantage or anything. I'll just
That's
say
okay.
It'll give you enough to make a proficiency skill check.
So because I've also a Lounder with the same ability, can I just give him advantage then?
Yeah, sure.
There you go.
Yeah.
So what check am I making currently?
Make a perception check.
Perception with advantage. Thank you, Auckland. 18, 15 plus 3.
It's the same signature. Now,
Excellent.
now that you've seen my signature, is that enough?
Oh, yes.
So if
I just
our
wanted to
meetings-
confirm you are who you say you are.
If our meeting's tomorrow, you're covering our bill for the night, right?
That is unprofessional. We hired you from Andrea's Adventures. You will receive your fee once your job is complete.
We're here now.
Plus expenses.
Why not have the meeting now?
There are no expenses negotiated in your contract.
That's a
If
good
we are
idea,
here-
brothers. Let's do it now.
You're here. We are here. Why not talk now? You are short creatures. Is your lifespan the same?
The
Waste
gnome
no
looks
time.
around. The gnome looks around suspiciously, and he looks to the forest gnomes astride him. One of them looks up and sort of whispers something back to him. If you can't speak Gnomish, you can't understand what they're saying. So, and he says, "We cannot do this. This is not the order of things. You do not understand our ways. Merely to suggest such a thing is against the way. We will meet at 10 bells."
You invited us here. Why should we do your ways instead of you do our ways?
I'll lean over and I go, hey, barkeep, can you ring that bell 10 times for me, please?
So unfortunately, he just seems less and less impressed, and at that point, that's when he harumphs and they walk away.
You sent the lawful gnome to talk to the chaotic barbarian or chaotic sorcerer. What do you
that's fine.
expect?
I'll
No,
just
I'm
look
not
over at
bothered at all.
I'll
This
just
is-
look over at Auckland and be like, they must live longer than their lifespans suggest. They have time.
But I will say this: we will be wrapping it up at this point. But I want to check in with everyone and see where we're at and what we're doing as the fantastic cooking competition has gone down, and we've learned some new things about the land of Thalia and our place in it. We're going to check in with players, going from the back end to the front end this time. We're going to go with the backwards.
Blathers.
That would be our Blather's Wingless Valkyrie.
Hello. What are we wondering? Sorry.
Check it. We're going to do a final check-in with your character, with you, how our game went tonight, and yeah, we're it's 10 o'clock. We're wrapping her up.
Blathers is very much
I know everyone's so into. I'm into it too. I am really into it. I'm having a great time. But
Blathers
we
is
gotta
very
wrap it up.
inward thinking and inward seeing. So it's all these new places and new different peoples is very, very strange to him, and he's trying to understand all of it. I'm assuming since we've been traveling at least for one quest with the Goblin Chase, that he's a little comfortable around everybody, but he's still very much like, I don't know what that means or what friendship is and such. And so he's just trying to get an understanding of all that. And I think that's essentially what he's just kind of struggling
Cool.
with right now.
Cool. Yeah, and
Beyond that, I don't
how
know.
these strange gnomes have these strange traditions, eh?
Yeah, I think that's where he's just going to like, but you asked us to come here.
Yeah.
But now you don't want to talk about what you asked us to come here to talk about, but it was a thievery. So if they're running away, don't you want to figure that out as soon as possible? Not wait all night? I don't understand. That's where Blather's head is right now. It's
Yeah.
like, I thought time was of the essence. You wanted us here ASAP, but now you want to wait till tomorrow morning. What's
It's
going
like
on
a
here?
procedural drama, right?
Yeah. So, anyways, that's where Blathers is right now. Just trying to make sense of it all.
Fair enough. Cool. All right. So yeah, next we'll move on to I guess Blair. I'm trying because so many A names. I'm like doing the alphabetical backwards. Like,
Are you doing by character name or player name? Because
yeah, that's the other
Auckland
thing.
is an A, but
Oh my gosh.
Hopefully
Don't
by next
confuse me
week
more.
I'll fix the layout and actually put our names
Getting
on them.
sleepy. Don't confuse me more.
Yeah, it was good. I'm still trying to piece together Auckland's personality a bit, so I'm not sure of a few things, but I think he's definitely confused as to the reactions of these people, because he's not intentionally chaotic, he's circumstantially chaotic.
Mhm.
But being in a lawful town, he's like, what do you mean we just can't do it? Ring the bell. Look, the bell went. Let's do it. Let's deal with it.
right?
Come on.
Yeah.
Like, he's just really confused on why they're like, well, this is inappropriate. And he's kind of like, it is what it is. Let's just do it. Like, he's getting confused by them. But
yeah. These strange magical folk with their weird ways.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What do you mean it has to be exactly that way? Who cares? Just, you need it done, right? You want the result.
Yeah.
But
yeah, totally.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm just trying to remember the other games and how he dealt with things and how he thought about things and trying to place them in.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're finding our characters. That's the big one for this session. Was I wanted it to be about finding characters. You know what I mean?
And I've also got to like realize where he was at those other games and then bring it back to a less mature stance, because he is still only second level. He's not fifth or 15th or 12th like he was in the other one. So I gotta still piece that together. But no, it was good. It was fun.
Awesome. Now I'm not going to try to do A alphabetically. So I'm just going to go Andrea.
Yeah, it was a good time. Tala's just out here living her best life. Like, she got to cook a couple really great meals. Like, I think she even impressed even herself on the sushi dinner. But I think
that was a pulling it out of the fire cooking for the owner of the bridal Hippocampus. A fantastic sushi dinner. Yes. Indeed.
So I think she's just looking forward to seeing new things and expanding her knowledge and that sort of thing. So
yeah, well, we'll see. Have to see how that goes in the next 2 weeks when we come back. So should we move on to the next person or? Yeah. Okay, cool. So let's move on to Ashley next.
Peridot's just trying to be Peridot and also try to figure out how civilization works, because she's been in isolation for a good long while and she doesn't understand these gnomes who are like, seaweed, take it for free. No, you have to pay for that.
I mean, you didn't ask them for money until after you gave it to them.
I know.
She has 5 gold too. Is like,
seaweed?
Like, what?
She doesn't know that's wrong. She doesn't have a concept of money.
Could you imagine? You go up to the place, you just put a thing of seaweed on the barkeep. It's like, that's 5 weeks for a room, thank you. Like,
she doesn't understand the concept of money. She's a poor little hermit. I'm also trying to figure out a way not to make her sound like a grandma. Because she's not. She's just nervous. She's got anxiety.
Oh my gosh. She's a really fun character though, that's for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then last but not least, we have Ayla.
Yeah.
Tell us where you were ending up at the end of this session.
I think I'm kind of in the same place where Blair is, because the last time I played Azure, she was level 12.
Yeah.
And then I didn't really have anywhere, like any sessions in between. So I've like
this is sort of a bit of a prologue to that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've scaled her back to the level 2. And I'm just like, okay, but I know where I kind of want to take her. And I think I had outlined to you kind of my leveling thought process, which might be really interesting. But I think just trying to figure out her voice a little bit more, because I feel she is a lot more like accepting sort of her situation, where she's, I think, a little bit more brash.
Mhm.
And like I didn't really have much in terms of combat, but I think I'll be able to play around with that a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, this is a fun thing we're doing, right? It's been really fun. Like I really fun, a lot of fun, a lot of fun tonight.
We're such a chaotic group, even though we're
Oh
like
yeah, no, it's
very-
great. This is the kind of game I like to DM too. It's fun to just riff and go off what's happening and just take it in a direction and yeah, I've been having a lot of fun tonight DMing for you guys. I'm looking forward to the next one in 2 weeks. This is my Badger Kingdom. This is my I brought you to, and it's part of Thalia now, and I'm happy to have it. And we will definitely see more of Thalia as well, and we'll get to the bottom of this mystery and these strange theocratic gnomes and their society.
Mhm.
But we won't be doing that until 2 weeks from now. And part of the reason I will cop to the part of the reason that they didn't want to have the meeting was because the stream was ending.
No, that's fair. That makes
And I
sense.
was like, yeah, oh man, it's breaking my heart. I want to keep doing this. But
Yeah.
I wanted
So-
to further the plot without bring it to a nice close. And so Hans and Flans, the High Vizier, will be expecting you guys in 2 weeks.
Okay, so yes, every chat join us on August 15th at 7 p.m. and you get to see the next installment of the story.
Totally, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I think this
Thank
one
you
was-
everybody who tuned in tonight to watch our first session together, and as
Yeah, I
we
hope you guys had fun.
figured everything
That's
out,
why we
and-
stream it too. We want everyone to have fun.
and thank you to whoever was the anonymous sub donor. We really appreciate it. Yeah. We are planning to release this video at some point up onto YouTube, and we've been talking about releasing it as a podcast. So stay tuned.
Yeah.
Might be one small glitch with that.
Oh, did you not record?
When the stream stopped, the recording stopped. When I started the stream, I didn't
It's
start the
okay.
recording. So
It's all good. We'll
I'll see if I
figure
can
it
pull
out.
it off of Twitch. But
Yeah,
okay.
you'll be able to save videos off
we'll-
of Twitch. You
we'll
should be
see what
okay.
happens.
I mean, we
Just
can
have to
always do
splice-
episode 2 as
Splice the
episode
two
1.
together.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Yeah,
Episode 1.52.
yeah. If you need any editorial help, let me know.
Perfect.
Okay, well, I'm gonna we'll throw it to Andrea and Blair at this point. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and thank you to our wonderful DM and all our players for joining us for this new adventure. We're excited to see where this goes, and Blair and I are actually just excited to play D&D again because we actually haven't played a regular game in a long time. So, yeah. So we'll see you in 2 weeks, everyone.
Thank you for watching Wanderers
Right.
of the West Coast.
Thank you guys very much. Have yourselves
Bye.
a good one.
Good night.
Bye.